Vicky Barker in London. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor just left a police station in Norfolk, Eastern England, nearly 12 hours after his arrest on suspicion of misconduct in public office. The former prince was photographed hunched down in the back seat, apparently in an attempt to avoid the waiting press. Under British law, police could have held Andrew for 24 hours, so the king's disgraced younger brother has been spared spending a night in a police cell.
Andrew has been released under investigation, which means so far not charged. Virginia Giuffre, who died by suicide last year, had filed a civil suit against then Prince Andrew for forced sexual encounters when she was a teenager. Her brother, Sky Roberts.
We're very hopeful that this is the start of the domino effect. This is where the house of cards starts falling.
Work is underway in Philadelphia to restore an exhibit about people once enslaved by President George Washington.
The federal judge issued a scathing 40-page ruling accusing the Trump administration of trying to erase U.S. history and blocked the government from installing replacements at the site with a different version of history. This man works near the president's house site and says,
I'm happy to hear someone's taking an aggressive stance against the administration.
The Trump administration has removed content about the history of enslaved and Native American people from several sites. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
President Trump says Iran must give up its nuclear weapons.
They cannot continue to threaten the stability of the entire region, and they must make a deal. Or if that doesn't happen, I maybe can understand. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But bad things will happen if it doesn't.
Sources tell CBS News that the U.S. could strike Iran as soon as Saturday. Trump made his comment as he officially kicked off his Board of Peace with an inaugural meeting in Washington, D.C. He says the initial goal of the board is to rebuild war-torn Gaza, and several nations have pledged $7 billion, while the U.S. is pledging $10 billion. Police in Sacramento stopped a man with a gun from entering a church on Ash Wednesday.
An off-duty detective was acting as a parent observer at St. Mary's Catholic Church in East Sacramento when he noticed a suspicious man trying to get into a school mass. While questioning him, the detective spotted a loaded handgun on him and called in backup.
Thank God he was there and was on alert.
Church member Marissa Palombi had just attended mass with her kids.
I was kind of scared.
I'm just glad that all the kids are safe.
The suspect has been charged with felony possession of a firearm at a school. He's due in court Friday. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Stocks drift lower on Wall Street. The Dow is down 365 points. This is CBS News.
Looking for spring jewelry looks? Find them at Jewelry Television. New customers get $20 off purchases of $99 or more at jtv.com.
A Seahawks rumor is being spread on social media. Details on the way, but first we head over to the KIRO Newsradio traffic desk and say hello to Lori.
Hello there. The traffic is brought to you by Emerald Queen Casino, northbound 405 at 44th. Finally, that accident cleared. But you're still backed up to about 169 in Renton. Renton to Bellevue right now, 32 minutes. Bellevue to Seattle on 520, we're seeing a 7-minute delay. Linwood to Seattle, southbound I-5, just a 2-minute slowdown. And Federal Way to Seattle is 27 minutes. If you're heading over the mountain passes right now, no restrictions on Stevens or Snoqualmie. Get ready for a night of hard-hitting MMA excitement with WFC 190, April 25th at Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. A Snohomish County courtroom is shut down right now after a possible fentanyl exposure. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay joins us live. Frank?
And Nate, Rachel Doniger with the Everett Fire Department just told me moments ago that people are being checked out. They were moved to the 4th floor of the courthouse.
And it's a fentanyl exposure to fentanyl residue that was opened up during a trial.
That trial was going on in a courtroom on the 2nd floor of the courthouse. That courtroom is closed for now. Otherwise, operations at the courthouse are going on as normal. And the good news here is that so far nobody has any symptoms. Doesn't look like anybody's been sickened by this exposure, again, to fentanyl residue in a Snohomish County courtroom. This happened just over an hour ago. Reporting live, Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Thank you, Frank. Well, he was just 16 years old when he pulled the trigger and killed a 50-year-old woman at a Shoreline apartment complex in 2024. Today, 18-year-old Jaden Taylor accepted a plea deal and took responsibility for his crimes.
Whose choice is it to plead guilty today?
Mine.
And are you pleading guilty to counts 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Yes.
Taylor was initially charged with second-degree murder for killing Billy Joe Perkins in May 2024. He faces as many as 13 years in prison when he's sentenced late next month. A prominent owner of another Seattle sports franchise is squashing rumors a new owner of the Seahawks might move the team. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
Tim Lewicki, part owner of the Seattle Kraken, laughed at the rumor on 710 Seattle Sports.
There is no possibility. The family has left this team in brilliant shape, and they did it in partnership with the citizens.
The Seahawks have 6 years remaining on their lease with the owners of Lumen Field, the owners being the taxpayers of Washington State. The team officially went on the market Wednesday, less than 2 weeks after winning Super Bowl 60. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
And there's another rumor going around about the Seahawks on social media that they have declined a White House visit after winning winning the Super Bowl, but there's no official confirmation from the team or the White House that an invitation was even offered or turned down. Experts say the rumor stems from viral posts, not verified sources. Washington Democratic U.S. Senator Patty Murray will skip next week's State of the Union. She calls President Trump a disgrace and the most corrupt president in American history on a post on X. Other Democrats also plan to boycott the address. The White House says it's not a surprise that they refuse to celebrate and honor the Americans who have benefited from the common sense policies that Republicans have governed with. On State Route 512 near Puyallup last week, a sedan's hood came loose, flew through the air and hit the windshield of a Jeep Wrangler. That driver narrowly avoided being hit in the head, according to Trooper Cameron Watts on X. Washington State Patrol says the suspect vehicle is still outstanding. And now your KIRO News Radio weather, mostly cloudy and 41 for today's high. There isn't any snow in the Seattle forecast, but we have seen the teeniest, tiniest snowflakes an hour or so ago. It's 38 and mostly cloudy right now downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome to the show. Happy Thursday. Jake Skorheim here, sitting alongside Spike O'Neill. Spike, welcome to the show.
Hey, buddy.
You were in the previous show, so
I was sitting in your seat. You've got a much nicer chair than I do.
Really?
Yeah.
You can have it.
Oh, no. No, you earned it.
No, I'm generous. I want you to have it.
I had a blast.
How was it? Was it good?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, I just didn't, because I didn't care what I said. Did no research.
You were actually trying to spike their show.
Shooting from the hip.
So our show would do better.
Exactly. I warmed up.
There you go.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
I gave them nothing.
Perfect.
Saved it all for our audience.
I expect you to do that. Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of stuff to get to. We should jump right into first things first on this Seahawks sale that everybody's still talking about. You and I were speculating, Spike, yesterday, who they could possibly sell this team to, who can afford this price tag.
Right.
You also asked the question, you said, well, are they required to sell it to somebody who's the highest bidder? Because maybe the highest bidder isn't actually the best new owner. Maybe somebody who has a slightly less would be a better fit for the team.
Right.
Because
Maybe
they wanna,
local ties, right?
Who knows? And then I saw this headline from Luke Ducey that the Allen Trust must sell it to the highest bidder. And I said, get this guy on the show. We need to figure this out. So Luke Ducey joins us right now from KIRO News Radio. Luke, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So what's the deal? Are they allowed to sell it to somebody who doesn't have quite the amount of money, but maybe is a better owner, or is it just about dollars and cents?
Well, yes, it is always about dollars and cents, right? It's always the money. But let's dive into it a little bit and let's explore it because there's a lot to open up there. All right. So like any living trust, Jody Allen has a fiduciary duty to act in the best interest of the trust and provide the best benefit to its beneficiaries. So what does that mean? Well, usually that means selling to the highest bidder, making the most money. If you were selling your mom and dad's house, it was in a trust, and you needed the money, there were multiple beneficiaries, you would want to get the most money out of that.
100%.
Right, and then divvy it up among whoever are the beneficiaries.
Yeah, like if I was selling my parents' house and my siblings were going to get an equal chunk, and I'm selling it to a friend who's going to pay less, they'd be like, hey, don't sell it to that friend. We want as much money as we can possibly get.
Right. And it was Pauline's intention to be as philanthropically generous as possible.
Yeah, so in this case, beneficiaries would be all the charitable organizations and nonprofits, whoever else are going to benefit from the sale of the Seahawks.
Yeah.
You could have one brother or sister who might say, no, I'd rather sell it to these people because they're really nice. But the other beneficiaries, this is why that process is fair, because you say, no, to be fair and equitable to everyone, we're going to just sell it for the highest price.
100%.
Amen. All right. However, let's dive in. The Seahawks, there could be questions about, is the most money in this case the best benefit? I mean, we're talking about a franchise that's going to go for a lot of money. It's in a great position. It could set a record among franchises being sold in the NFL. So, the answer to that question is, probably yes. For those nonprofits and charitable organizations, they're going to want as much money as possible because they should, right? It's a good thing to do. But what if a lower bidder guarantees to the team, we will keep Seattle here, or the Seahawks here in Seattle in perpetuity, but we're going to come in at a lower bid? Is that a benefit?
Yes. Yes, that's a benefit.
Well, also talking about the reputation and legacy of the Paul Allen Foundation. If you sell to a buyer who strips that team from the Northwest, that doesn't bode well or look good for the Paul Allen Foundation.
Can we slow this down for a second?
Sure.
Is there a real conversation that might happen where somebody comes in and buys a team and then they say, we don't want to keep it in Seattle because it's rainy and the taxes are horrible. We'd rather take it somewhere sunny and, with not so many taxes. Is that even a real possibility?
I think most people would tell you, no, absolutely not. End of discussion.
Todd Lywicki would laugh in your face. I heard the audio.
Todd Lywicki, and I've got the sound right here. He was on 710 Seattle Sports earlier, and he's a part owner of the Kraken, and he just laughed at the question, said no. Like the Allen family has set the team up in a perfect way with the fan base, with the stadium, and it's not going anywhere. The lease with the stadium is what a lot of people talk about. The lease with the stadium is with the owners of Lumen Field. We are the owners of Lumen Field, if you didn't know that, the Washington State taxpayers. And so there's a 6-year lease left on that. There's also the question, though, within that debate, some ownership, there's a trend in the NFL to go toward more luxury seats, luxury food, luxury experience. SoFi Stadium is huge. The Las Vegas Raiders.
Is unreal.
Yeah. And that's also why a lot of franchises build their stadiums outside the city where they're, for instance,
Santa Clara,
which is at the Super Bowl. It's the San Francisco 49ers. The Commanders Stadium is up in Maryland. The New York Jets, New York Giants, that's in New Jersey.
Did I just see today, did you guys see the story that the Bears are going to be moving their stadium?
Soldier Field's they're going to build it in the burbs.
They're going to build it in, outside of the city, right?
Indiana.
Yeah.
Indiana, that's right. Indiana. They're going to move into Indiana. That's wild.
And why would you do that? Because as an owner, you might get a tax break
100%
on that, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so continue the conversation. Right. Todd Lewicki
You might imagine, though, let's go back a little bit to that whole, can you sell the team to whoever you want if you're the trust, or do you have to sell it to the highest bidder? You can imagine a potential scenario where this might get really messy. So what if the Allen Trust sells to a lower bidding buyer because they see benefit for, the 12s, for the city, to keep it right here, to guarantee that? What would the highest bidder then at that point do? What would you think they would do? Probably lawyer up and file a lawsuit, right?
File a lawsuit. That's what I would do.
Because they want the team. They're the better bidder. They're offering more money. They want to recover damages. But then can an argument be made in court, legally, that the 12s in the city are also beneficiaries of the trust? I don't know. I don't think so legally, but maybe.
Well, to me, the deciding factor of this whole thing will come down to the ownership approval requirements of any potential buyer. The NFL owners, a select group of 32 owners, and Jody Allen, I imagine, has one of those votes as one of the 32 owners. You have to have a 3/4 majority to approve.
I don't think she would vote in this case.
She may not be able to. I'm not sure the certainty.
So it'd be like 31.
31,
probably.
but you'd still need 24 out of 31 votes to get this approved of any potential sale. So if the owners of the league determine that it's in the best interest of the league to keep a regional team in the Northwest, to service Alaska, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Washington. We aren't just a city.
It seems so crazy to me that even the concept of the Seahawks leaving Seattle. I mean,
it does.
But it seemed crazy the idea of the Sonics leaving too, and now they're in Oklahoma.
Well, the owners. But here's the thing. The Allen Foundation. I always get that wrong.
Allen Trust.
Paul and Trust. They're required to take the highest bidder, but it's not guaranteed that's going to be the final buyer because the league has final approval on who it's sold to.
And all these owners too, they all have their own agendas. You could have an owner, you could have a Jerry Jones, you could have somebody else who goes like, hey, you know what, this guy who wants to buy the team, I've got beef with him from a business deal way back in the day. I'm not going to vote to approve that buyer.
He wants to move him to San Antonio, who cuts into my market share.
Yeah, or
he wants to move it to blah, 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 wherever.
Again, the NFL, I cannot even fathom the idea that the NFL would approve the idea of the franchise moving out of Seattle. But even beyond that, there's all these different things at play. You don't want an owner necessarily to be more successful than you are as an owner. You don't want to take like if you're establishing a fan base, or like you're somebody like with the Chiefs, who have like a huge national fan base, and some other owner wants to come in from a different country and they want to start marketing a team, and they're going to like pick off some of your Chiefs fans because maybe you guys aren't the best team anymore. They're going to be like, let's get that guy out of here. We don't want him to get the team or her to get the team. Whoever ends up buying it. It's just there's a lot at play.
Like back to the selling the house model. If you think about it, so could it be that there's already an ownership group or an owner lined up, or there's been talks. Who knows? But there are people that sell their house and go to their neighbor really wants to buy it and say, hey, we're going to put put the house on the market officially next week, but you're in. We want to
pocket listing.
The price is right.
What they call it? Pocket listing.
Pocket listing. There you go.
Well,
stuff like that could happen
with regard to the
well.
NFL, the NFL has to open coaching opportunities to all, including minorities, but most oftentimes they already know who they're going to hire.
They know who they want to hire.
And these interviews are just for show. Maybe this thing's being put on the market to anybody for highest bidder for show. And they may already have their designated owner already. We don't know if there's already somebody in the works who's made an offer or what. We don't know as per how the team worded this
I saw somebody online said, hey, why can't the fans put their money together and buy it? There's a lot of money locally here. Could the fans buy it?
Yes and no.
Just like in Green Bay. Like Green Bay, the fans own the team, right?
They do. Now, that scenario can never happen because there is a new rule in the NFL. That
no one else can wear cheese on their head, so we don't get a chance.
Green Bay people cannot become rich. It has to only be NFL owners.
Isn't that kind of a rule in our society?
That's unwritten. We don't
the
speak
American
on
dream. There's a rule in the NFL that, the scenario here is really we're talking about there's going to be a group that's going to buy this team. And that could be a mix of individuals and private equity firms. It can't be all private equity firms, though. At least one individual, and that could be like a family.
Right, like the Waltons who bought the Broncos.
Exactly. But there has to be one individual who owns at least a 30% stake in a team. And because of that new rule, nothing like the Packers could happen. That was back in 1928. They started the Green Packer Inc. is what it was. And then and it was sold to, and I think now 540,000 roughly fans shareholders own the team. Mm-hmm. And it's a nonprofit. So no one really profits of it. It just, that can't happen.
They could sell a portion of the team to fan interest, right?
Yeah. Now, if the fans were part of a group that wanted to buy that up.
Say 10% of the ownership total could be made available to fans.
I'd put $20 on that.
Right?
Yeah, we should start a GoFundMe.
Which is about what it costs. We did the math today. It would be, you could get it down to like $50, $100 per person.
Per share.
Do it. To pay it.
Yeah.
Now, part owner of the team.
Here's the deal. But you're a part of this big group that has billions of dollars together. Now go ahead and make that happen. Yeah, it's pretty difficult.
That would be difficult to make happen. But
what if the
Good.
shareholders just got to elect who raised the 12th flag on Sundays?
Sure.
That was our only
benefit.
As a voting block of shareholders,
shareholder benefit.
We get to pick the 12th flag.
Now let's flip that model though on its head and let's do the inverse. The NFL is expanding into a global market. We're seeing this coming season they're playing games in Europe, Brazil, Mexico, Australia. There's going to be a game. I think the 49ers have to play down there.
Isn't that the opening game is the 49ers and Rams in Australia?
In Australia, Melbourne, Australia. Yeah. So the Seahawks could attract global investment as well. Let's just speculate here and play around. Now, there is one group out there in the world that invests a lot of money into a lot of sports and a lot of sports teams.
Are they in Qatar or Dubai?
Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. They have purchased huge stakes in Newcastle Soccer Club, in the English Premier League, the Live Golf Tour. That's basically them funding that. The Saudi Soccer League as well. They wanted to prop that up. They invested in it. Ronaldo, if you're a soccer fan, a Portuguese player, he was a Messi and Ronaldo, the two best players in the world for a while there. They reportedly paid him $1 billion to play in that league, and he plays in Saudi Arabia in that league as well.
Could they be a minority share owner from another country?
Could be.
They could be the majority share, couldn't they?
No. Didn't you say that the majority share has to be an individual or family, but they can't be foreign? Am I right about that?
I don't know about foreign. I don't know that rule, but it has to be an individual.
I'd be very surprised if they would turn that down.
This would be a private equity firm, so they could be a part of it. They could be a stakeholder, but then again, that's a lot of controversy and political issues there, as global political issues there as well.
Here's a crazy idea. Let me throw this at you guys. It's going to seem a little off the wall, given my history with him.
Okay.
This is somebody who I think has a little bit of cleanup to do with sports teams locally here. What about Howard Schultz? That's a joke. Continue. Just kidding.
Very good.
Howard Schultz should never be near another sports team.
Two teams to be dead to me? Is that what you're looking to accomplish here?
One of the things that people...
How funny would that be if he bought the team and then he sold them to Oklahoma?
Sorry.
It's like a big joke.
What are you doing?
Too soon.
He goes, hey guys, I got a funny joke I'm going to play on the people in Seattle. I'm going to buy the team.
Let's see if they'll fall for it twice.
Hey Clay, you want to do the funniest thing ever?
So there is something to, when we go back to that higher bidder idea, though, in the Allen Trust, they are doing all the things that are in responsible ways that would lead you to believe that they are and would follow through with getting the most benefit. I think he bought the team for like $194 million. Is that right?
$194 million in 1997.
That's a pretty good return on investment.
Saved us from a horrible owner.
For $8 billion.
It's going to help. It's going to help a lot of people. A lot of people don't know this though. The timing of this sale is very interesting because it avoided a huge tax penalty. If the team was sold last year, the Seahawks would have had to pay the state of Washington 10% of the proceeds of the sale because the state provided the majority of funds to build Lumen Field. You and I own Lumen Field as taxpayers, but that clause has passed. So in other words, to the benefit of their beneficiaries, past that deadline so you don't have to pay that tax penalty or implication or whatever you want to call it. So they have done that to maximize the benefit for whoever is going to, receive the money.
How you feeling about that, Spike?
About the team.
About them not having to pay that tax.
That's why Jody Allen delayed the sale for as long as. That's why the league got on her about, hey, there's a window as a trust that you have to make.
I'm just barbering you a little bit because in the past we've talked about people who don't pay taxes being you.
Well, it's funny because we can shift to that real quick about the millionaire's tax.
Please.
There's no way that the implication of a millionaire's tax is going to cause any owner to not see the value of this region.
Really?
And absolutely. Because the value of this region and the fan base and the TV markets, the 4 or 5 states that are the Northwest Seahawk audience,
I think these guys are
far outweigh any tax penalty you could pay.
Totally disagree. Not any tax penalty.
Well, 9.9% over how whatever. But first off, it's income that's being taxed. I don't think the millionaire's tax is going to affect the Seahawks. An entity like
every
the Seahawks.
Seahawk player is going to have to pay 10% of their income over $1 million. Every single one of those guys.
And those are tax deductible expenses, business expenses for doing businesses. There's ways. It's not just that they're going to pay $3 million. I was looking into this after we've had this conversation a couple of times.
Yeah.
And there are ways to protect an athlete from the cost of doing business is the fact that they pay taxes in various states. They pay taxes every time they play in New York or LA or wherever it might be.
A tax over $1 million is a tax.
Yeah, and it's also deductible business expense. I'm not going to. I get with you. It's a tax. You're right. But we're talking about this.
No. Here's the question:
is the value of the team?
No, you just said no, but you just made a statement. You said that any amount that they could be taxed would not stop a team from coming here. And what I'm saying is, I don't think that's true. When you talk about a guy like
9.9 is not going to stop a team. It's not going to cause an owner to move this team.
It's not just that. It's everything included. It's the cost of doing business as a whole. These are very smart business. If you can acquire the ability to buy an $8 billion team or even a share in an $8 billion team, you're not a dum-dum. And so you're doing your homework and you're going to look around and you're going to say, hey, you know what? That's a lot of money to invest in a place where, what's my return on that going to be? Is it even smart? Or could I buy a team and go somewhere else? That's a possibility.
Well, that's a good question. Where would you go, though? So as far as there states that have taxes or structures in place
tax
like
havens
that,
you can move to.
Where would you move a team like South Dakota? So
Montana doesn't have a professional football team.
Nor
Oregon doesn't have a professional football
Nor
team.
Could they support one.
Totally.
So much of the money now that they're making is on TV deals, all the other marketing that's happening. I'm not saying that Montana has a massive amount of people that would go to every football game, but they also have a lot of benefits that Seattle doesn't have. And when you talk about bringing these players in, you just said that they're not having to pay that tax at 9.9%. At the end of the year, Cal Raleigh's going to have $3 million less dollars every single year, no matter how you want to write it off. That's $3 million less than he's going to have. I think owners are going to factor these things in.
I'm going to make a promise to the Jake and Spike show. If you'll have me back tomorrow, I'll do my research. I'm going to call a guy I know, brother-in-law, who is an attorney for a hedge fund in New York, and he knows all this stuff.
Okay.
All the tax implications, all that stuff. I'm going to figure it out.
How do you make money
off the tax?
Here's how I know it's a real thing. We have a story that we're going to do in just a few minutes where they literally prepared, the people who run the Kraken prepared a talking sheet for Governor Ferguson to talk about and to avoid in his recent conversation with the NBA Silver guy, talking about, hey, let's make sure you don't mention these tax things and these implications that do make it, you're laughing. But
No. I think it's a smart play. I agree with you. It's
now,
a smart play.
why would he want to avoid those conversations with Silver?
Well,
if it is, as you say, that they would not even care at all about taxes.
I think even with those taxes,
I want you to respond on the other side of this break. Stick around. We'll be right back.
I love this story.
This is what it's all about, right?
The Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
The pure joy.
To beat the Patriots, especially in the 49ers Stadium, it means everything.
It's a great time to be alive for Seattle fans.
It's why we're 12s.
Just like Mike McDonald said, we did not care.
We got a parade to get to.
Seattle will hold a victory parade Wednesday.
We are the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
KIRO Newsradio.
You know, it's frustrating. You work your tail off for 40 plus years. The government takes 30 or 40% in taxes. Then they turn right around and waste it. Americans are getting fed up, and that's why they're taking advantage of tax planning. Charlie Harger here. Tax planning could significantly reduce your taxes, not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. Learn how much you could save in taxes when you retire with free retirement tax savings analysis from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $300,000, schedule your free analysis now by calling 206-210-1350. Don't pay the government one more dime than you need to. You need to call the team at Boss Retirement Solutions. Call 206-210-1350. 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax. They know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
It's clogged again.
Your drain?
Just had it cleared.
You didn't call Apollo Plumbing.
How can you tell?
Because your drain's clogged again.
So frustrating.
We can clear that drain.
That's what the last guy said.
We'll clear it, guaranteed.
He said that too.
Apollo Plumbing will clear your drain, or it's free.
Wait, what?
Apollo Plumbing clears your drain.
Or it's free?
Yep.
What's the catch?
No catch.
Fine print?
Apollo Plumbing clears your main drain for $83.
$83, or it's free?
And we'll even give you a camera inspection.
Because?
It's the best way to find what's causing your clog.
But that's extra.
Nope. Included.
No extra charge?
Not 1 cent.
83, or it's free.
All it takes is an accessible outside cleanout.
And an Apollo plumber.
No clog is safe from Apollo Plumbing.
And just like that, my main drain is...
draining again.
How can you...
Apollo plumbers are that good.
83, or it's free.
You call, we come.
My drain's draining again.
Guaranteed.
83, or it's free.
As it should be.
Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Adrian here from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Winter might seem like an odd time to replace your windows, but now is when you get the best deals. Our Leak Armor installation team will keep your home warm and dry while installing beautiful, new energy-efficient windows. You'll feel the difference right away. Quieter rooms, lower energy bills, and a more comfortable home.
Visit Lake Washington Windows and Doors at the home shows to get 20% off, plus 12 months, same as cash financing. Or go to lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Hey, this is Pete from Home Matters. Tune in this weekend when we'll talk with local business owners about everything in and around your home. Join us on Saturdays from 2 to 3 right here on KIRO News Radio or listen to the podcast on mynorthwest.com.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical,
there's no beating CM Heating.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. A bill to allow privately owned labs to examine evidence in DUI cases and reduce a months-long backlog is one step closer to becoming law. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with more on the controversy.
The State Association of Counties told House committee members if the state wants to reduce the backlog of DUI testing at the state crime lab, lawmakers should fully fund the lab. King County Prosecutor Amy Friedheim testified turning to private labs could lead to a bidding war between rich and poor counties.
We have used an outside lab in one of our cases in King County. It cost us over $10,000.
Supporters of the bill say they have to wait months at times for DUI test results to come back. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
A Snohomish County courtroom was evacuated and shut down this morning. Some evidence being presented during a trial potentially exposed people to fentanyl residue. Rachel Doniger with the Everett Fire Department says about 20 people were checked out as a precaution.
Nobody showing any symptoms.
Aside from that, one courtroom being closed, courthouse operations were not disrupted. The state ferry system has become so unreliable lately that a state representative wants to bring back the mosquito fleet of Puget Sound's past. Representative Greg Nance wants to allow ports, cities, counties, tribes, and private groups the ability to start their own passenger-only service to provide more reliable trips across the water.
Is all about getting folks back to work, back to school, back to the doctor by empowering local ports, counties, and public transit benefit districts to provide passenger ferry service to better connect folks around the Sound.
This bill would allow services beyond Puget Sound, including lakes, rivers, and even the ocean. It has passed the House and is waiting a hearing in the Senate. The Auburn Police Department recently conducted a retail theft blitz targeting shoplifting in local stores. Police say retail theft has skyrocketed in the area, causing serious problems for businesses. Many retailers report closing some locations because of repeated theft incidences. Traffic delays continue on northbound 99 at the First Avenue South Bridge in Seattle this afternoon. WashDOT closed 2 right lanes earlier this morning after issues were discovered following routine inspections. Officials haven't said what that issue is yet, although it looks like it's at the draw span. Drivers should expect ongoing delays heading into downtown. And with that, let's get an update on your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. Here's Lori.
And traffic is brought to you by Emerald Queen Casino. 405 finally northbound at 44th. That collision has cleared the roadway, but still a little bit sluggish as you head past 44th. Bellevue to Seattle right now on 520 is going to take you 20 minutes. Linwood to Seattle on I-5 is about a 2-minute slowdown in northbound I-5. The on-ramp from the West Seattle Bridge, that looks like that's a stall partly blocking. Federal Way to Seattle is a 27-minute drive, and your drive of Federal Way to Bellevue right now with those slowdowns is about a 2-minute delay. Get ready for the night of hard-hitting MMA excitement with WFC 190, April 25th at Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thanks, Lori. Now your KIRO News Radio weather. Cool and partly cloudy this afternoon. The high peaking in the low 40s. Friday calls for partly cloudy and 44. Overnight lows dipping near freezing. Mostly cloudy and 39 right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. All right, before the break, we were talking a little bit about everybody's favorite, sexiest topic in the world, which is taxes. It's just the season. That's what everybody's talking about right now. There's all these tax proposals. There's all these new bills that are being proposed and ways to try to take your money.
Olympia's got the midnight oil burning over there. Yeah,
they got to fit. They're burning the candle at both ends
and paying us, charging us to do it.
Very lovely light. All right. So before the break, we were talking about whether or not new team ownership for possibly the Seahawks, or also is the case, there's a conversation happening right now about the Sonics, whether or not anybody is actually going to be dissuaded from coming to Seattle. If a team possibly would avoid Seattle because taxes and how much the players are going to have to pay, how much the new ownership is going to have to pay, the dollars and cents of running a team. I mean, it is very expensive to run a professional sports team. Now, I will also point out, it is very profitable to own a sports team. It's almost like one of those things that you purchase knowing that you're not going to make a ton of money on it while you own it, because when you sell it, like Paul Allen's about to do, his estate,
right.
He bought it for $197 million. They're about to sell it for $8 billion. Clearly, it's a good investment long term.
And even before then, it's a vanity play for a lot of these super, super rich guys.
100%.
To be part of this exclusive club of pro sports ownership.
Yes. So before the break, though, you were saying that you don't think that tax considerations are really going to, keep somebody from bringing a team to Seattle.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a deciding factor to move to another city. I think the NBA wants into this market. I think we're the largest market in America that doesn't have an NBA team.
That would make sense.
When we vacated, the NBA vacated Seattle for Oklahoma City, because I firmly believe, and you may have more insight to this than I did because you were in the league, but they wanted.
People don't know that about me. I was in the league 4 years, no big deal. As a ball boy,
NBA wanted to establish basically franchise free agency, allowing owners to move teams. That's why they approved the sale of the Sonics with no guarantee that the team would stay in Seattle. And I think that move was made to establish free agency of NBA franchises, with the caveat that someday we will be back in Seattle. They know this market is attractive. So I don't think a 9.9% tax on income, in the millionaires tax in this state, is going to deter the NBA from their desire to be back in this market. I think the benefits far outweigh the tax burden.
Here's you may not be wrong. You may not be wrong, but here's where I would just caution. Ari Hoffman posted this. He said he had some internal documents. This is what we were referring to before the break. He posted this on his X page, and he says that these documents, I'm going to read from his post here. He says, I have obtained documents used by Washington Governor Bob Ferguson's team to prep him for his meeting with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver earlier this month, which was kind of a news story. Remember, Ferguson was he had reached out to Silver, and he said, hey, we want to start a talking process here so that, eventually when the possibility of a team is talked about with the NBA, which I think they said they're going to, either recommend it or not recommend it this summer, they want to be up and running and have a relationship established. Yeah. So according to Ari Hoffman's documents here, he says that Joe, help me with this last name, Spike, Impecoven, I-M-P-E-C-O-V-E-N. Impecoven. Who is a Ferguson policy advisor. He was in communication with Todd Lewicki.
I'm sorry, that's pronounced Lucifer. I'm sorry, no.
I didn't realize that.
Sorry, I kid.
Obviously,
I kid. He's the Dark Lord.
So these documents say that Ferguson's policy advisor, he's been in communication with Todd Lewicki, the CEO of the Kraken, and also Samantha Holloway, who is the owner and chair of the Kraken. And here's what the documents show. And then he posted some of these things. He says, Todd and Samantha wanted to share a few high-level points for your awareness ahead of your meeting with the NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. So these, according to these documents, these were Ferguson's policy advisor that were sent to Ferguson to prep him for the meeting with Silver. The Commissioner Silver is fully committed to returning the Sonics to Seattle, but emphasizes the importance of doing it right this time to ensure the team's long-term stability in the city. Samantha, again, she's the owner of the Kraken, highlighted several key factors they and the commissioner are closely monitoring. Number one, the high cost of maintaining a basketball team. Obviously, that's going to be anybody who's starting a new business wants to know what it's going to cost to run that business. Number two, the impact of employer layoffs, i.e. fewer employees equals fewer ticket sales. So we have seen, if in a market that is more highly taxed, businesses decide to leave. If those businesses leaving don't pay those employees the same amount of money, those employees don't have the expendable income to buy things like season tickets and basketball. I don't know if you guys know this, but NBA is actually a really, compared to other sports, it's a very expensive sport to go and watch.
Very expensive.
It's I think it's actually the most expensive sport to watch. So that's a factor that that they're also keeping a close eye on. Point number three, challenges posed by the millionaire's tax on recruiting top players. that again is the question about whether or not somebody feels like Seattle is an attractive place to come and play.
It's one of the cards in the hand of an ownership trying to bring talent in.
Sure.
Yeah.
You talk about somebody who's going to go play in Arizona versus New York. Obviously, you have a short career in the NFL. You can play for the Cardinals or you can play for the Bills. Where would you choose to play? 3-year career, Cardinals or the Bills?
It depends on what's important to you. Making money. Well, maybe a lot of athletes pick
3-year career, Cardinals, Bills.
Bills.
Why would you choose the Bills?
Better chance of winning a championship. So to a lot of guys, I get you about
it's possible. Yeah.
I get you about the money factor. You're right. If money is the sole motivating factor, and it probably is and probably should be for most of these athletes with short earning windows, I get that. But
like we're about to lose Walker because he's worth too much for the Seahawks.
He's going to be paid elsewhere.
He'd rather get. He could win another Super Bowl with the Seahawks, but he wants to get paid.
Yeah. But there are some athletes who, say you've made 10, but you could have made 15 if you go play for a chump team, right? For some, and it's just a matter of what's priorities to you. Is it more important for some athletes to make $10 million? Is that going to be enough if you invest it well, invest wisely, and you got a ring to boot? That's an experience that money can't buy. No matter how much, no matter to an athlete, if you're picking between the Cardinals, where you're never going to win, or the Bills, where with Josh Allen, you got a real chance of winning a Super Bowl. I'm sure there are athletes who would pick the maximum amount of money in the short amount of window, but there are also athletes who would pick the opportunity to have enough money plus a chance to win a championship.
Well, who's to say what's enough money? That's going to be different for every single person.
That's what I'm saying.
So if you're going to go to New York,
it's not always about the most money.
Well, again, when your career is 3 years, that's the average career in the NFL.
Yeah.
And you're looking at making $6 million a year, or you can come and play in Arizona. Or sorry, you're going to make $6 million in Arizona. You're going to make $4 million playing in New York. Yeah. And you're only playing for 3 years.
No, I get it. But
that's a lot of extra money to ask a player to shake a stick at.
I'm not saying you're wrong, and there are guys who definitely that's the deciding factor.
So you would take less money.
If you know what, to me, if it's just me, if I'm going to make 12 over 3 years and get a ring, yeah, that's enough.
Okay.
The difference, that's the thing you have to ask. Because let's talk about real money that the NBA players are making or the NFL players are making. 25 or 30. Make it that, are you going to make $75 million in 3 years or $90 million in 3 years?
Well, the NFL is tricky because the NFL doesn't guarantee money the same way that baseball does.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
And you're talking about premier, $25 million a year players. That's a premier player. A lot of these guys are
not really.
You think every single player in the NFL is making?
No. That's not what I'm saying. But it's not just the quarterbacks making that kind of money either. Well, okay, but let's put the numbers aside.
Yeah.
There are guys who think that $10 million's enough. I can work. My family we can make that work.
What I'm saying is, why would you want to make it harder for people? Why not just not have those stupid taxes and just let people come here and enjoy playing here, build the city up, but not take their money?
Well, that's a fair question to ask.
The last thing that they mentioned,
a lot of people are in your camp on this.
The last thing that they mentioned in this email that went to Ferguson, whether Seattle remains an attractive and investor-friendly environment for all the aforementioned reasons, businesses wanting to grow here and build here. These things are all long-term considerations. If you're going to put an NBA team, you are going to spend an unbelievable amount of money to bring a team. I think the franchise, just to buy an NBA team on franchise is what, $5-6 billion?
More than that.
Isn't that what they said?
Yeah. Oh, to buy your way in. Yeah.
To buy your way in.
Yeah.
And then you're going to, on top of that, then you got to pay for a team.
For the team. Yeah, exactly.
So you are massively in the hole. And these are all considerations these people are going to have to make. And again, Spike and I are not, we don't run businesses. So,
that's why we're doing this.
What do we know? But I disagree with you. I think taxes do factor in when somebody's choosing where they're going to, spend their career.
I don't think you're wrong. They factor in. They may not be the determining factor.
Yeah.
There are other factors that could be at play.
It could be. All right. We got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We will be right back.
G and Ursula, 9 to noon on the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, KIRO Newsradio.
A sea of green and blue in downtown Seattle. I'm hoping, G, you can hear us.
I can hear you.
We want to take it all in right along with you. You have a very special vantage point. Gee, what's going on?
They had another big dude trying to get on here with me and DJ Roscoe. You can't have 3 big dudes in the back of this Tundra.
Subscribe to the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel and watch live.
Hey, Spike O'Neill for Integrity Roofing and Construction. Folks, I don't have to tell you the rainy season is upon us. It's been a somewhat dry start to 2026, but the rain's coming and you don't want your home subjected to possible leaks and destruction of property. Call the folks at Integrity Roofing and Construction, 206-202-ROOF. Schedule your free inspection, your video inspection today, your free assessment of your situation. They've got a full design department that can help with a simple repair or a full renovation. You can check them out online. Amazing reviews, and their work the craftsmanship speaks for itself. IntegrityRC.com. That's IntegrityRC.com.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cybersecurity must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through March 22nd, switch to Comcast Business and get started with 150 megabit internet plus Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Or ask how to lock in your rate for 5 years on a qualifying internet bundle and get a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. For a limited time only. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising! After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
My name is Carlos, and I'm a Cub Scout. I'm here to talk to you today about becoming a scout like me. Cub Scouts get badges for doing fun activities, and we make friends. Scouts go camping, climbing, and fishing, and swimming together. We play sports and go to parades. Scouts also help people and become the best versions of themselves. Visit bascout.org to find a pack near you, get any questions answered, and sign up for Cub Scouts online.
If you're worried your friend may be struggling, remember, you don't have to be there to be there.
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch.
Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the JED Foundation.
Compassion, communication, results. That's Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com. That's pendergastlaw.com.
Hartley here from Wilcox Family Farms. I'm so excited to have my cousin Amelia with me today. So I saw that you visited the baby chicks.
I got to hold 7 of them. They were so cute.
Do you know why Wilcox chickens are so happy?
Because they get to play outside?
Yes.
Happy chickens are healthy chickens.
From our farm to your table, Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh
since 1909.
All right, welcome back to the show. This was a really, it started out as kind of a sad story, but it ended up being a very sweet story, kind of an affirming story. There was a young fan who was at the Seahawks victory celebration, and his name is Antonio Rodriguez, and he decided he was going to get this ball signed that he had. And he thought, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'll just toss it up back and forth between me on the ground and the players up on the buses and get them to sign it, and then they'll throw it back to me, and this is how I will collect signatures. So he's 8 years old. This apparently worked, and it was going well.
Yes.
He tosses it up. He gets some signatures. They toss it back. Now it's all fun. I'm sure he wasn't the only one in the crowd to do this.
Charbonnet. He got Josh Jobe. He had Velus Jones Jr.
Then he gets it tossed up. He goes up to Sam Darnold.
He sees the holy grail of autographs.
And apparently,
quarterback.
Apparently, it got signed, right?
Well,
it got up to it got near the quarterback, but it didn't quite get to him, and it bounced onto the ground.
Right.
And then the security guard, who's obviously keeping those guys safe from projectiles being thrown at them, he sees the ball and he accidentally gives it to the wrong kid in the audience. And obviously, he's not trying to be mean. He just didn't know.
No, yeah.
So,
all kids look alike at a parade.
All kids look alike. They're all tiny. So he's.
Give it to the short kid.
So now this kid and his family are like, oh, no, that's our ball. We are trying to find out where it went. And they start a Facebook thing about it, and they're asking people for it. And the story ends up spreading to, we saw it here, and we were like, oh, man, I hope this kid gets his ball.
Yep.
And then it makes its way all the way to the Seahawks, and he had some Seahawks players reach out. And is it Josh Jobe? Is that his name?
Josh Jobe, yeah, reached out. He was one of the original signers of those first ball.
So he found out about it, and so he reaches out to the kid and he calls him up. Imagine being 8 years old and your favorite player on the Seahawks calls your phone.
Calls you up, yeah.
And you pick it up and you go, hello? And it's Josh Jobe, and he says, hey, why don't you come down to VMAC with your parents, and why don't we toss a ball around, and maybe I can get you another ball. I mean, these are the things this kid, and this is a credit to how great the Seahawks are.
Yeah.
And why they can never be sold to somebody who would take them out of town.
Right.
And would never be sold. I mean, let's be real. They will be sold not to somebody to take them out of town. But how great is it that they reached out to this kid, and this is a core memory he's going to have for the rest of his life.
Oh, yeah. Going down to the VMAC and meeting his heroes. Yeah.
It's probably made such an impact on him. And he gets to play catch with Josh Jobe, which he already did. They got a tour of the facility.
It's kind of awkward when Jobe knocked him over for the interception and raced and then danced over.
Yeah,
him.
You're right. Absolutely.
Awkward. But he's a competitive guy, Jobe. Now, did you
That's
see
why
the
we love
story?
him.
Did you see the story of the guy from Tumwater?
Army
First Sergeant Stephen Craycraft was the first guy I saw. There was a local news coverage of this as well. Saw this kid's story on social media, and I love the value of the social media. This is what it's all for, to bring the community together. He saw this kid and how devastated he was at losing this treasured memory. He saw the kid, what's the Antonio?
Antonio Rodriguez.
Was wearing a Metcalf jersey, his favorite Seahawk, in the parade. And he had at home and his own autographed Metcalf jersey.
Oh, sweet.
So he through social media, contacted Antonio's family, and he gifted this young man his autographed Metcalf jersey, trying to make up for the loss of that football.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
The Hawks caught wind of this, as you mentioned, and the Hawks reached out to this kid. And just the whole community of 12s and rallied around this young fan. And then the Hawks themselves rallied around this young fan. It just speaks to what a wonderful community of 12s and the team itself and everybody associated with it, what a value it is to this community. It's just phenomenal stuff.
So listen how cool this is. So he originally lost a ball, and this is what he's gotten in like Dora used to say this thing, which is so true. The internet does not have an off switch. Like if something catches on the internet, it just can go.
Yes.
So he gets a ball from Jobe, and obviously he gets to go out to the VMAC, and that was just yesterday actually. Yeah. He gets to play catch with his hero and have those memories for life. So he gets a ball there. And then this other guy that you just mentioned, this Army First Sergeant Stephen Craycraft, he reaches out. He gives the Metcalf jersey and a football signed by Metcalf, Bobby Wagner, and Reek Woolen. Then he also gets, Craycraft also,
2026 Lincoln Navigate.
No, he also got a 2014 Super Bowl ball signed by Russell Wilson from another fan who saw the story and just wanted to reach out and make this kid's day. I mean, this kid's swimming in footballs now.
He's opened a shop of sports memorabilia.
It's all available. It's all on Facebook Marketplace and can be sold. No, he's probably not selling it.
I just love the sense of this, the whole vibe of this story.
Did you ever have any collectibles when you were a kid from some of your sports heroes that were just priceless to you?
Yeah, of course. I had a Johnny Unitas autographed football helmet that he signed in my hand. The autograph faded over time.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it faded away. It's gone. I got the helmet. There's not a mark on it.
You can't see it?
It's gone. It's just faded.
Oh, that's no good.
The pen. I've got a 1991 Husky football from the national championship team at the UW. I just moved to town. I made friends with Ed Cunningham, right?
Yeah.
So after they won the Rose Bowl and a share of the national title with Miami, Ed took a ball with one of those white paneled balls with the Rose Bowl logo and
the signing ones.
Kept it in the Husky weight room and had everybody on that team sign it for me, including Coach James. But some of them used pens that have faded. And now there's a ball with almost every player on the team except for the couple, 3-4 spots. One of which the faded was Coach John James, the late Coach John James. Yeah, his autograph's no longer on the ball.
Bummer.
I know. Yeah, so it's. I love that kind of stuff.
When I was a ball boy, that was like our side hustle.
Was autograph gear?
You collect everything.
Really?
They get rid of shoes every game. They're getting rid of everything. And you just like swoop in there and you say, hey, can I get, like you would go up to opposing players on the other teams.
Yeah.
Because we had to, help them out too.
Sure. There was
and you'd say, you'd go up to whoever it might be. Jordan, when he was in town, you go, hey, can I get those shoes? And he'd be like, yeah, no problem. And you would get shoes from these guys and then they'd sign them for you. A friend of mine who was also a ball boy literally has a storage unit filled with stuff that he collected. It's pretty fun stuff. So this kid's going to have those for a long time. Good for him.
A wonderful job, Seahawks.
Good job, Seahawks.
As well. Yeah.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
Seattle and the 12s throw a party or what?
They're thinking there could be up to 1 million 12s for this parade.
We're the best in the world! You hear me?
Me and so many others remember taking my kid to the parade 12 years ago. And now another generation gets to share that.
Home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Hey, we not done. We coming back next year.
KIRO News Radio.
The first few steps that I took in the morning were pretty painful.
This is Carlos.
I mean, I had been told by multiple orthopedic surgeons that there was no alternative for me.
That wasn't what he wanted to hear. You see, Carlos is an active guy.
I played basketball, and for 3 to 4 days after, my knees would just be so swollen. And now I can play basketball, and there is no swelling. There is no pain in the knees.
No swelling, no pain, because Carlos went to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm just happy to be able to be out there. And then knowing that tomorrow I am not going to suffer for this.
What do you say to your friends and family who are in pain?
I say, I had horrible knee pain and stem cells really worked for me. You might want to go to Dr. Wagner, just get a consultation before you have surgery.
Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
He flew fighter jets in 2 wars and taught you how to drive a car. He fed everyone on the block, but never shared his secret recipes. And every time he'd tell a story, he'd own the room. But now more than ever, he may feel alone. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect in a time when connection has never been more important. But there is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely with an interview about their life. Every interview will be archived at the Library of Congress, becoming part of American history, so that years from now, future generations can listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage. The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at StoryCorpsConnect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising! After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
You pledged your life to serve. You made sacrifices, lost loved ones. At VA, we don't see the falls you've taken. We see the 1,000 times you've stood back up. We embrace your uniqueness and won't trivialize your hardships. We can't promise to heal all wounds or wash away all trauma, but we do see a path forward. We see all veterans. We see you. Learn how treatment works and recovery is possible. Visit maketheconnection.net.
File your taxes for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. File on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th. Valid for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
We're the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Former Prince Andrew is arrested and released, but so far not charged as UK police investigate suspected misconduct in public office revealed in Jeffrey Epstein files. Sky Roberts, brother of Epstein and Andrew accuser Virginia Giuffre, who died by suicide last year, says of today's developments,
it's just such a win for Virginia and for all survivors out there, truly.
CBS's Imtiaz Tayeb.
What they're investigating is whether Andrew, when he was the trade envoy for the UK, for Great Britain, between the years of 2001 and 2011, in that time, had sent material, sensitive material about Britain's trade relationships to Jeffrey Epstein.
President Trump says of the latest news on Andrew Mountbatten Windsor,
I think it's a shame. I think it's very sad. I think it's so bad for the royal family.
Andrew has previously denied any wrongdoing in relation to Epstein. Breaking news. The USA women's hockey team wins its third Olympic gold medal, beating Canada 2-1 in overtime. Authorities trying to solve the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie say they might tap DNA genealogy databases. A law enforcement database did not turn up any matches to DNA found in gloves a few miles from Guthrie's home. And CBS's Andres Gutierrez in Tucson also reports that the FBI has reached out to Mexican authorities.
This is not a confirmation that Nancy Guthrie was taken across the border. The FBI does have dedicated agents who work directly with Mexican authorities on cases along this corridor. Nancy's house is just 77 miles away from the Nogales crossing. So when a major crime happens so close to the border, those channels are activated.
Weather is a challenge for crews responding to one of the deadliest avalanches in California's history. KCBS's Mike DeWald reports.
The Nevada County Sheriff's Office says conditions are still too extreme to get the bodies of the 8 victims off the mountain. One person still missing is presumed dead. Operations continue into the weekend. Placer County Sheriff Wayne Wu.
We are committed to being here until the end.
In a statement, Blackbird Mountain Guides founder Zeb Blades says all 4 guides were trained in backcountry skiing and avalanche education. The company is investigating the incident and is suspending operations through at least Sunday. Mike DeWald for CBS News, San Francisco.
CBS News has learned that FBI Director Kash Patel, whose use of a government jet has frequently come under scrutiny, took the same plane today to fly to Italy with plans to attend the Olympic hockey medal rounds. One of the sources adds that Patel is also scheduled to take part in meetings with law enforcement counterparts in Italy. An FBI spokesman did not respond to a request for comment. Stocks closed down on Wall Street today. The Dow fell 267 points. This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Police staffing at an alarming low. More on that coming up. But first, your KIRO News Radio traffic with Lori.
And traffic is brought to you by KIRO Newsradio App. 99 southbound in the HOV lanes. Actually 2 lanes, according to Nate, still blocked. And it's backing you up just before the bridge all the way to Holden. Northbound 405 at Northeast 44th. We had a collision clear, and now it's blocked again in the HOV lane. So a bit sluggish, 167 to 169. A 3-minute slowdown Renton to Bellevue. 6-minute snag if you're heading from Bellevue into Seattle on 520. And Linwood to Seattle right now, an easy 15-minute 10-minute drive. Text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. Well, we learned yesterday that the Seattle Seahawks are officially for sale, but for head coach Mike Macdonald, it's business as usual.
I don't think really much changes for us at this point.
Macdonald made the comment today while introducing the team's new offensive coordinator, Brian Fleury. Fleury replaces Clint Kubiak, who moved on to the head coaching job with the Las Vegas Raiders. Fleury was an assistant coach with the San Francisco 49ers. The Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs is sounding the alarm about police staffing, or lack thereof, all across the state. Steve Strand is executive director.
We were hoping to see some improvement in our per capita staffing, which of course has been last in the nation now for 15 straight years. But unfortunately, the numbers we've got now for 2025 are actually showing another decline. We're going in the wrong direction.
Strand says the problem is more officers are leaving through retirement than new hires, and the state's population has grown, which affects the per capita rate. Seattle police say they busted a chronic reckless driver.
Police got the first report on January 21st. A black Audi was spotted being driven recklessly along Northwest Leary Way in Ballard. Witnesses told police the driver was speeding through there around 7:30 that morning and again around 3 o'clock that afternoon. Police found the car, stopped it, and cited the 22-year-old driver. On February 12th, another report came in about that same car speeding. Within 24 hours, police stopped the driver and cited him for multiple serious violations. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
Washington Democratic U.S. Senator Patty Murray will skip next week's State of the Union. She calls President Trump a disgrace and the most corrupt president in American history in a post on X. Other Democrats also plan to boycott the address. The White House says it's not a surprise that they refuse to celebrate and honor the Americans who have benefited from the common sense policies Republicans have governed with. Social media controversy reignited questions about Kurt Cobain's 1994 death, but Seattle police say the case is closed. Fox 13 reports that a cold case review in 2014 found no reason to change the original ruling of suicide. Officials emphasize the investigation was complete and there are no plans to reopen it. Your KIRO News Radio weather. We should see some sun this afternoon. Partly cloudy and 41 this afternoon. Same for tomorrow and a few degrees warmer. Overnight lows in the upper 20s. We're at 39 and mostly cloudy in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 1 hour down, 2 hours to go. We're very fortunate to have a double dose of this guy today. Luke Ducey joins us back on the show right now. Luke, welcome back.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, glad to have you. Okay. We're going to get into this is a very dark topic here. But this was such a massive media story, probably the biggest one as somebody who worked in news that I was a part of in my, career in news so far. And I'm talking about the Josh and Susan Powell saga. And the reason we're talking about it is because Judy Cox, who was Susan Cox Powell, her mother, just passed away. And you have a story about this right now on mynorthwest.com, Luke, that you can tell us a little bit about. But in your time in news, can you remember a story here locally that was more, and when I say big, I mean the coverage, the ongoing coverage, there was so much mystery around it. So Susan Powell, give us a little history for people who may not know this. Who Susan Powell was, and then that will inform, obviously, why we're talking about Judy Cox.
Sure. You could make parallels to the Travis Decker story for sure, because it's one of those stories that we could all relate to, because a lot of us are parents, or we have kids and families in our families, and we know A lot of people in this neighborhood, in this immediate area, knew Susan Cox Powell and her family. You know, she had lived in Utah with her husband, Josh Powell, at the time. I mean, here's the background of the story, and then I can always share. I talked with her sister, Denise Ernest, yesterday, and she shared some really touching stories about not only Susan, but about her mom and her mom's final words. So Susan was last seen December 6th back in 2009 in West Valley City, Utah. The next morning, she'd failed to show up for work, and her two young sons didn't arrive at daycare, which prompted, obviously, concern from family members and friends in the daycare. And police investigated, and they discovered the home had been undisturbed following there was a storm that night. Later that day, Susan's husband, Josh Powell, returned with the couple's sons to the house and told investigators that he had taken them on this overnight camping trip in Utah in the desert in freezing cold temperatures.
In the middle of December.
In the middle of winter.
Yeah, makes no sense.
Right, to a lot of people and especially to investigators. You know, Josh was later named a person of interest, never a suspect, and there was never an official suspect in the case. But he was always believed to be involved in and connected to the disappearances of his wife. She's never been found.
She's never been found.
No.
And I mean, it's so tragic. And I mean, this story makes me think of so many things. But number one, we had, when I was producing for Dory, this was before the conclusion of the story, which we'll talk about in just a second. And if you guys don't know the details of this, there is a phenomenal podcast which wins all sorts of awards called Cold. And it goes into it's about this case. And we used to have after Susan's disappearance, and Josh Powell was living here locally. He moved here locally because this is where his family was from.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So he moves back here. He takes the two boys out of Utah, and he moves back here. Judy and Chuck Cox were Susan's parents, and they had their suspicions. And initially, they were not saying that Josh was guilty, but they were interested in making sure that those boys were as safe as they could be. And so we would have them on the show a lot.
The Powells?
The Cox
Coxes,
family.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
the Coxes. Okay.
Mostly Chuck Cox. He's Susan's father, who I believe is still with us.
Chuck is, and he didn't want to talk with us yesterday, but he gave the blessing of Denise to talk with us because you can imagine.
Of course.
Just this family's been through so much.
Yeah.
In the twists and turns, and now Judy's gone.
So they used to come on and you know, talk with Dory and use the platform to try to get their story out there, because what they wanted was for Utah investigators to not give up on the case. It's so interesting because as we're talking about this, we have all the Nancy Guthrie stuff happening right now, where how long has that been now? 18 days that she's been missing. You don't know if it feels inevitable that you're going to have a conclusion, you're going to find out what happened. But in Susan Powell's case, you never knew what happened. I mean, like, definitively, there's suspicions. So certainly, given how the story culminated, you have an idea about who was responsible for it. But there's nothing concrete, which is very frustrating, and people want answers. And so the idea that, Judy Cox passed away without knowing definitively what happened to her daughter, and maybe she came to some resolution in her own mind, and she said, I know what happened, as many of us think probably did, but they never did recover a body, and they never found it, so how can you have full closure? But do you have some cuts from Denise you want to play, and then we could talk a little more about it?
Yeah, I can dig up some cuts, absolutely. Let me get that for you, as I'm kind of, let me look.
Oh, Laura might have. Laura's got
you do, you have,
Yeah, so you talked to Denise Ernst, right? The sister of
Susan Powell's sister.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And she was talking about their mother's last words.
She said that she couldn't wait to see Susan and the boys, and then she informed my daughter she's going to be watching over them as well, and all her grandkids.
Yeah, her last words to the family, she was surrounded by family when she passed away, was that she cannot wait to see Susan. Denise also shared that her mom always knew that she wouldn't find Susan while she was alive. She always wondered where she was, always wondered what happened. Knew what happened really in her mind, but had always been kind of down pretty much since after Susan went missing. And always wondering and not knowing, like you mentioned, Jake, was a huge toll on Judy Cox. And she was happy at the moment of the end of her life because she was going to go see her daughter and her two grandkids.
That was the only hope she had left was that of faith.
and that of an afterlife and being reunited with her grandchildren, not just her daughter, because of how the story devolved in front of us. With again, Powell was never a suspect. He was never charged. He was suspected, but he wasn't an official. So the charges were never brought.
It was one of those cases where you look at the scrutiny of the family, everything starts coming into play. And then when you add all the pieces together, what ended up happening with him? And for anybody who doesn't know, it was the worst. I'll never forget this because it was Super Bowl Sunday, and I came into work the next day, and I'm walking downstairs in this building, and it might have been Ursula that I ran into. And she goes, "Did you see what happened?" And I hadn't seen yet that morning because I wasn't on any of the news sites that morning, and I wasn't late the night before. And what ended up happening was he had a scheduled visit with his boys. Who was supposed to be under the care of like somebody who's there with Child Protective Services monitoring those visits. And when the boys, if my memory serves, when the boys went into the house, Josh Powell barricaded the house, and so the person from Child Protective Services, who was supposed to be like a court-ordered monitor to be there,
and was trying to get inside.
It was trying to get inside the house, was not allowed inside the house, kept out of the house, and then he ends up, and this is a horror. The story is just a haunting story, but he ends up killing the boys, and then the house, he and himself, and lights. Did the house get lit on fire?
Yes,
Was that it?
It was on fire. Yeah.
And the entire time when you're, and that's the horrible punctuation on that awful story. And there were so many pieces along the way. All of the stuff with Stephen Powell, Josh's dad.
Yeah, there were a lot of twists and turns, and that fire and that when the boys were killed, that happened 3 years after Susan went missing. But in between that time, there were these odd twists and turns, and I'll say a couple things add to it. God bless Chuck Cox. I always felt horrible as a reporter. I was working for Como TV at the time, and there would be a development in the case, and you would call Chuck and say, "Hey, can we meet?" He'd be commuting home, and he'd say, "Meet me at the light rail station or something," and we'd zoom down there. And I always felt like God being so intrusive. But he would welcome that, and he would because he wanted to keep this in the media.
He wanted to keep it alive.
Every time he spoke or anyone spoke about the case, it was national media. Those twists and turns. I remember knocking on the door of the Powell family in Graham is where they were.
Is that when they moved in with his dad, Stephen Powell?
Yes, and I knocked on the door one day, and his brother answered the door, and
who ended up committing suicide.
Yes, that's in one of those twists and turns. Like in that period of time, he ended up apparently jumping off a parking garage, I believe, at a university somewhere, and he died. The father was charged with, I don't know the specific charges, but I know the allegations were that he was peeping in the windows of neighbors looking at children, and had images of children as well on computers. So he went to jail for that. It was prosecuted for that. It was just very, very odd. Everything leading up to that moment.
He also apparently had made some love declarations to Susan Powell, Josh's wife, his daughter-in-law, when they had moved. So they were originally, for a short time, they were, I believe, living nearby. And he decided he was going to tell her how he felt. He just had to tell her. He used to write about her. And I was on the Cold website looking up some of this stuff. It was very disturbing. But he talks about they have these journals of his where he was talking about how he stole her undergarments. And I mean, this is the family that she married into, which you could never know. And then when you talk to Judy and Chuck Cox, the sweetest people in the world, clearly a very loving family, and then you see the family that she ended up marrying into, you just don't know. And that's why you have to be so careful. I mean, this is an extreme example, obviously, but the Powell family was just a disaster for her.
Very bizarre, and those bizarre twists and turns didn't seem to stop. They never had an end.
They never had an end. They just kept going.
Yeah, and you wondered, covering that story, you wondered, what are we going to find next? We keep digging and digging. What are we going to find next? Because you're always going to find something next. Denise also told me this. She shared that she was with Susan's sons the night before they were killed, and she had changed them into their pajamas. She was hanging out with them. She tucked them into bed, And her message to all of us today, after this was her talking with me yesterday, just a couple of hours after her mom passed. That big reminder for all of us that you hug your loved ones, and you concentrate on your family and the people you love the most, because you never know. And it's so sad. It really is so sad, and it's so sad that this family is never perhaps going to have any kind of closure.
Yeah.
You hope that they do.
I wonder if they're ever going to, I mean, that's one of those cases. Obviously, the name of the podcast, and you guys, if you haven't listened to it, and that's something that you're interested in learning more about, you can check it out on Cold. But, these are the cases that end up going for years and years and years, and then they find something. I mean,
well, 4 years ago, they found what they thought may be remains, proved not to be.
Mm-hmm.
There have been, repeated instances where we think we may have a lead, we may have some closure for this poor family, and it proved not to be. And yet, as Luke mentioned from the outset, now the mom, Judy, has finally, the one thing that she had was someday knowing that she would be reunited in her mind, in her faith, with her family.
I believe she will.
Yeah.
This is one of those stories too that, I mean, with the Guthrie stuff that we've all been following so much. I mean, do you guys think the Guthrie thing's going to get solved? I mean, it's been 18 days now, and I'm watching I'm remembering the police in Utah. I don't want to call them, like they were unprepared for it, but
it's a small town police department. Now we have an international story, and who could be prepared for that when you weren't really, the manpower, the training to expect something of this magnitude for the world to come in, and hit you with the spotlights. I mean, certainly they make mistakes, but who could be prepared?
Certainly, the Guthrie case is getting a lot more attention as it's happening than the Powell stuff. I mean, because it's a national media figure's mother.
Yeah,
they have so many law enforcement that are involved, like more than 400 right now, actively searching for this woman.
Well, I harken back. Luke mentioned the Decker case, and how the similarities between the Powells and the Decker case.
Yeah.
And we think we got closure there, right? They found what they believed to be remains of Decker.
Yeah.
So, to your point, will we ever know? It's impossible to say.
And we thought
some little thing may happen, and you have the closure you sought all this time.
And in that case, in the Decker case, it was a person who was an analyst, behavioral analyst, who's hired to work on cases because she's so good at what she does. Yeah. And she not only guessed the terrain and the altitude at which they would probably find Travis Decker based on some evidence they had collected. And it could be like what grows at that altitude. It could have been a lot of that stuff. And based on behavior analysis, et cetera, and we thought that they would never find him. And she said, I think we ought to look in this area again.
She was spot on.
At this altitude, and that's exactly where they found him. Or his remains, I should say.
Such a crazy case. Crazy. All right, Luke Ducey, thanks for coming in, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, from one crazy story to another, this Maple Valley house, I think you guys may have heard about this a little bit. I think we reported on it yesterday.
This is the drug house next to the school, or near the school.
No.
Right?
This is the House of Horror. Have you heard about this one? The lady who was discovered there deceased, and there was also 10 children there that were alive.
I saw this story.
And in very bad condition, and they rushed them all to the hospital. Yeah. King 5 talked to one of the neighbors. The disturbing part about there's many disturbing parts about this story, but the crazy part was this house was well known to local law enforcement.
Yeah, they've been called repeatedly.
And what I cannot fathom is that something like this could happen. A lady could be dead in the house. You have all these kids in there. Like, how long was she dead in the house with the kids? And why is it like they didn't know that there was kids in the house? Listen to this. This is from King 5 reporter talked to an anonymous neighbor. Oh, audio here. There we go.
On Thursday, a woman died at the property from a medical issue. When law enforcement responded, the kids appeared to be malnourished and sick. The King County Sheriff's Office said there was rotten food throughout the home and a strong odor of raw sewage and animal waste. They obtained a warrant and CPS removed those children. The 10 kids are from 4 different families. Neighbors say the property has been a problem for a long, long time.
3 or 4 years. This has been a continuing thing, and I know the police have been down there numerous times.
I mean, how many stories have we covered, Spike, just you and I, where you have complaints that go in to local law enforcement or authorities or whatever it may be involving children? Like Charlie had that story that, that went viral.
The homeless.
The homeless 9-year-old, was he 9 or 10 years old?
9.
the 9-year-old homeless kid living in a tent with a drug-addicted mom who was making her money prostituting herself. And complaints go in, police respond, CPS responds, and they're not allowed to do anything.
Right.
They're saying that their hands are tied and legally they're not allowed to do anything. And then here we have that Travis Couture bill that just didn't pass.
Yeah, didn't get moved forward in this.
Who tried to change things a little bit so that you can't let kids go back into houses that are dealing with a drug-addicted parent.
They couldn't agree what was a dangerous environment for a kid.
Isn't a drug-addicted parent a dangerous environment for a kid?
Yeah.
I mean, can't we all agree on that very simple baseline?
Yeah, this horrific story of Maple Valley, we wonder how do law enforcement be called to this environment numerous times and not know?
Yes.
There are kids from 4 different families
And
in
how
this
do you
property.
have, I understand one kid falling through the cracks. I get it. It's horrible. It shouldn't happen. Not a single kid. But 10? 10 kids falling through the cracks? That makes zero sense to me. And, to the extent that they can change the laws to make it easier to take care of kids who are in situations like this, I think it's awful that bill didn't pass. And I applaud Travis Couture for trying to get it passed and to make it easier to.
Well, I can't imagine he'll stop trying.
He's going to keep trying. Yeah. Absolutely. And I hope he's successful.
Me too, buddy.
Okay, we got a lot more coming up. Can we back away from the dark stuff for a minute?
Yeah, please.
Can we go to something very light?
Sure.
Like Olympic controversies and stuff.
Sure.
That would be. We have an update in the Canadian curling controversy, the Triple C.
Oh, really?
We will tell you about it next.
Justice? Are you saying justice?
I wouldn't call it justice. It's complaints, but we'll talk about it next. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
12s, you sure know how to turn up.
Parade day is finally here.
Yeah, 12s! We talk about 12 as one. Look at all the 12s in this stadium right here. See how powerful this is?
We have one goal, and that was to bring this home to the best fans in the world. This is for y'all. Love.
The celebration continues.
I love this city!
On the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, KIRO News Radio.
I'm here with Wes Jones of sellwithwes.com. And Wes, you were just telling me you think 2026 is going to be a rebound year for the housing market.
That's right. I think we're heading into the best real estate market of the past 4 years. And here's why. If you take a step back and look at the big picture, experts are anticipating a 15% increase in sales volume next year. Interest rates are at near 3-year lows and trending down, and home prices have held near all-time highs. There is a lot of pent-up demand. People have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for their time to jump into the market since 2022, and they need a place to buy.
So, hey, 2026 might be your year. If you're considering selling your home, if you're thinking about moving, but there was something that was just holding you back, now might be a great time. So do this. Go to sellwithwes.com. You can see your home's real value there with Wes's home value calculator. Then schedule an appointment by giving him a call. Sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com. It really just is a better way to sell your home.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Hey, this is Pete from Home Matters. Tune in this weekend when we'll talk with local business owners about everything in and around your home. Join us on Saturdays from 2 to 3 right here on KIRO News Radio, or listen to the podcast on mynorthwest.com.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's Cars with a K.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio at mynorthwest.com.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. An arsonist did about $60,000 damage at a South Lake Union apartment building Wednesday night.
The fire broke out in a hallway on the 5th floor of a 6-story building near 8th Avenue and Thomas Street. Some people stayed in their units until firefighters put out the flames. Seattle police say somebody used a lighter and gasoline to set the fire. No one was hurt. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Police have identified a suspect, but so far have not made an arrest. A Snohomish County courtroom was evacuated and shut down this morning. Some evidence being presented during a trial potentially exposed people to fentanyl residue. Rachel Doniger with the Everett Fire Department says about 20 people were checked out as a precaution.
Nobody showing any symptoms.
Aside from that one courtroom being closed, courthouse operations were not disrupted. Can you imagine dozens or even hundreds of small passenger-only ferries shuttling people around Puget Sound or Lake Washington? State Representative Greg Nance wants to give ports, local cities, and counties the ability to start their own ferry districts to improve travel across the water.
How investing in passenger-only ferries can put boats back on the water faster and cheaper, taking lessons from our maritime history and heritage to build a more connected, healthier, and prosperous future for all of us.
It would be a return of the Mosquito fleet that helped build the region. Representative Nance says the state ferries have become too unreliable and these boats would pick up the slack. Biologists have confirmed a newborn southern resident orca swimming with L-Pod off the Strait of Juan de Fuca. KIRO 7's Lindsay Sheldon has details.
The Center for Whale Research posted that the calf was first seen on Monday swimming alongside a 49-year-old whale, which would be an exceptionally old southern resident mother.
The calf gives a rare boost to the struggling population, which faces low birth and survival rates. If you've ever strolled through the UW campus, this won't surprise you. U.S. News & World Report just named the University of Washington one of the 30 most beautiful college campuses in America. The magazine says UW offers a big city experience with classic Pacific Northwest scenery, lake views, mountain backdrops, and plenty of green space. And those cherry blossoms in the quad every spring don't hurt either. One other Northwest school made the cut, and that's the Lewis and Clark College down in Portland. And now your KIRO News Radio traffic with Lori.
Traffic is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. 99 southbound, actually 2 lanes still blocked, backing you up a little before the bridge all the way to Holden. Northbound 405 at 44th, a collision cleared again. Still, you're pretty backed up all the way 167 to 169. About a minute slowdown, Renton to Bellevue. 7 minutes slowdown if you're heading from Bellevue into Seattle, taking 520. Everett to Seattle right now, a 28-minute drive, and Everett to Bellevue, just 26 minutes. Get ready for a night of hard-hitting MMA excitement with the WFC 190. It's April 25th at Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thank you, Lori. Your weather, partly sunny and 41 this afternoon, 44 and partly sunny Friday. We'll warm up into the 50s this weekend, but it's still frigid at night with overnight lows into the upper 20s. Partly sunny and 40 right now, downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Jake and Spike Show, and the juggling continues. Jake Skorheim's got to take off. He's got something pending with the family. He's going to be okay. So welcome to the and Spike show. Laura?
I was going to say, this is our second time this week, isn't it?
We might eventually.
I feel so lucky.
We'll get good at this eventually. One would hope.
Keep listening.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Well, there's already planned. Jake did a great job setting up the show today. And let's get into it a little bit. Let's start into our KIRO Newsradio Olympic coverage. I will tell you that with regard to sport, that the U.S. Women's Olympic hockey team has secured the gold medal. A 2-1 overtime win over the Canadian women today gave the USA their first gold medal in hockey. So I think it's 2006, if I'm not mistaken. The U.S. team had a phenomenal run through the Olympics. I think they allowed 2 goals in total in their entirety of their play, with group play and then medal round play. The U.S. women scored the tire, the equalizer, as they say in the game, with 2 minutes left in the third period regulation. And then with 3 minutes remaining in the overtime period, if I'm not mistaken, they got the game winner. So gold medal. Well done, ladies. The men are in the semifinals. I think they're playing Czechia, I believe is how you pronounce it. I know who it is. I don't know how to say their name. Or Slovenia. Anyway, the men are playing in the semifinals. If they advance in that round, they'll play the winner of the Canadian other semifinal matchup. But let's get into what we really care about in Olympics competition. Then that be curling cheating and drunken reporting and dogs chasing skiers down the field. This is what I love about the Olympics. Because, the thrill of competition is wonderful. Seeing world-class athletes compete is thrilling. And we've had some setbacks with regard to U.S. snowboarding, with regard to U.S. figure skating, the women, the Ice Angels they called themselves, the 3 competitors who went to the Olympics with very high hopes and world-class talent. We're expected to all do very, very well. Only 2 of the 3 are in the top 10 into the final round of singles, individual women's figure skating competition. I know the U.S. women will come home with a gold for the team competition. But outside of the controversy, one of the U.S. Olympic figure skating women is, was very outspoken regarding the president and the policies of this administration, as many athletes have been at this Olympic. And people become very tribal. And to wish a U.S. competitor ill or to celebrate her shortcomings in competition because of political affiliations and political speech. These athletes are asked what they think about the politics in their home country by reporters. They don't go out there with, I want to put the medal aside. I just want to talk about what I don't agree with this administration. That's never the case. They're athletes responding to being asked questions. And when people cheer someone failing at the Olympics who's competing for your country because they're political affiliations, I think it's pretty rough. But let's get to curling real quickly, if we can. We remembered the... what do you call it? Stonegate? What are you calling this? The
Stonegate.
Stonegate. If you know what I'm referring to, earlier in the week it was alleged by, I believe it was the Swedes. Yeah, Sweden was competing with Canada in the curling competition at the 2026 Winter Olympics, and they accused the Canadians of touching the stone in a curling competition with their finger, poking and directing a stone after it had been released before it crossed the hog line, which is kind of like the foul line in bowling. And there was video provided, and we kind of chewed on this controversy or in the week.
Well, this is the thing. Plenty of photo and plenty of video. High def photos and videos.
Because that's where the story has taken a turn.
An interesting turn.
The story has slid into the house of controversy, if you will. Canadian curling star Mark Kennedy claims he was set up by premeditated cameras to catch him in the act of cheating. Right, the Canadian curling team is now claiming that to be victims after they were caught on camera double touching the stone. They have come up with a plan here at the Olympics, as far as I know, to catch teams in the act at the hog line, Kennedy said. This was planned. It was kind of evident that something was going on, and they were trying to catch us in the act. So let me get this straight. Just so
we're understanding the excuse.
The argument here, you were cheating, but since someone set up cameras to catch you cheating, you are the victim here. This is the most un-Canadian thing I've ever heard in my life, let alone sport and competitiveness and cheating and integrity and all those things. This is so un-Canadian. Can't just say you're sorry you cheated. He's the victim because there was a premeditated camera.
Oh, he can't say he's sorry he cheated, though.
No, you're right. No.
Never admit guilt, especially while you're still on the stage and you're still competing.
That's fair.
Right?
Yeah.
But to say that the Swedes put
Set
the
him
cameras up,
we're the victim here.
They must have known that this was an issue and thought, we're going to prove it, right?
Yeah, well, one of the Niklas Eden of Sweden said, we've been saying this
Niklas Eden of Sweden?
Niklas Eden of Sweden. Yeah, Sweden. I say that, yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. Now, it was too fun to pass
I know,
up.
right?
We've been saying this for 7, maybe 8 years or something. I'm sorry, I won't do that. I was asked not to do impressions or
I think
dialects.
white people are okay. I don't know what the current rules are.
God, I love this. We've been saying for this for maybe 7, 8 years or something. The media crew decided to place the cameras on the hog line to see what was happening. So they knew that the Canadians have been doing this for quite a while. The women have been accused of doing this. The men have been accused of doing this. Clearly, it's a tactic employed by the Canadian curling teams.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Well, no, there's evidence that they're, the way curling works is, you all see this, looks like an iron, a big stone iron, right? You slide the stone by a handle, and you release the handle at a certain point, like a foul line, the hog line. The handle has a sensor in it. This is Olympic competition. If you touch the sensor after the stone has crossed the hog line on its way to the house, I'm learning all these curling terms, the sensor will register a touch and disqualify you. Canadians found a workaround, a tap around, if you will, by you release the handle legally, by accordance with the rules, and then you tap the stone with your finger to give it a little extra nudge on its way to direct it, to guide it toward the target that you're aiming for. And the Swedes knew they'd been doing this for 7, 8 years. They set up cameras to catch the guy. And the Canadians are actually crying that, how dare you catch us in the act? We're the victims here. You recorded us cheating. How dare you record us cheating? Well, because we can't trust you. That's why I record you anyway. It's just hilarious. But I love that this is the kind of stuff that gets me. This is the kind of stuff that gets media attention. Not who's doing what in curling, not who placed where in the ski jump or the long jump.
Yes, the controversy of it all.
Exactly.
The drama of it all.
I couldn't tell you who had the longest ski long jump, but I could tell you that certain teams were padding their groin, their manhoods to get an extra inch of ski jumpsuit fabric
with
to give
acid.
themselves kind of a groin sail, like a SAIL. I don't want to make sure I clarify that. To get, they estimated 7 more meters of flight were the benefit of having extra fabric, like imagine a well-hung flying squirrel,
like
if you
will.
will.
A little sail.
Exactly.
Yeah, your classic marsupial.
This is this is the kind of stuff that we love to focus on in the media, especially American media. Did you see the dog chasing the cross-country skiers?
Which I think, again, is the only reason that I saw any footage of the women's cross-country skiers crossing the finish line.
Right, the team competition of cross-country skiing, apparently an Airbnb-type rental property that was, how a proximity to the course itself. A dog had gotten loose, and the dog was right adjacent to the track. This dog saw these 2 skiers coming down the last stretch toward the finish line and chased them. This dog is on high-def video chasing these 2 Olympic cross-country skiers down the last 200 meters of the course and then across the finish line. This dog we now know is named Nazgul. He's an
internet sensation.
He's a wolfhound. They've got high-def finish line video of this dog crossing the finish line because he's trotting down the track. He said living his best day ever.
And then immediately sniffs the butts of the skiers who had finished too.
He did, right? He does what a dog does. He sniffs the winners. He goes over and hangs out with the winners in the winners booth there. He's getting hugs from the media reps, from the course chief of rules. But that's the kind of story that people latch onto in this country with regard to Olympics. Which brings us to the final story of our Olympic coverage, 2026 Winter Olympic coverage. Was the Australian reporter drunk or not? So this is a reporter who's reporting live from Italy. I apologize. Her name's not handy. Let me pop it open really quick here for you. Her name is Danica Mason. We can play a tape of her, the questionable audio, and you can be the judge, and then we'll tell you how the story's evolved.
Literally, the price of coffee over here is actually fine. It's more the price of coffee in the US that we are going to have to get used to. I'm not sure about the iguanas. Where are we going with that one? But anyway, the fact that we've got so many athletes who are willing to compete as well after her as well. She is just one of those athletes that you keep in their mind and you just look at them and go, what an inspiration.
So after Channel 9's Today Show coverage in Australia, the host, Carla Stefanovic, had to explain to viewers that sometimes cold weather can inhibit speaking, but it was determined that the reporter, Danica Mason, had in fact drank a little bit and may have been broadcasting while intoxicated. So much so to the point where she issued an apology.
I just want to take a moment, if that's okay, just to apologise. Look, I totally misjudged a situation. I shouldn't have had a drink, and especially in these conditions, it's cold, we've got altitude, and not having had dinner probably didn't help as well. But I want to take full responsibility. It's not the standard that I set for myself.
That sounds like a different reporter.
That's exactly. Either she warmed up. So the question everyone's asking is, should she lose her job for broadcasting inebriated? Should she, or has she made a full apology? She's taken ownership of the bad decision. She misjudged. She wasn't hammered. She had a drink. She hadn't eaten. She was at elevation. She was long days, international travel. Your clock is screwed up.
She's not doing surgery.
She's not doing surgery. She's not even given, she's not giving the medal round. She's not giving numbers. Plus, she's Australian. I don't think there's any job you can be drunk enough to lose for an Australian job. She should have been holding the Fosters during the whole broadcast.
If you're Australian, you only lose your job after 4 drinks. I think that's the rule.
But that's what we love in America. We love the drama and the controversy and the side. Well, I mean, my favorite Olympic performers so far have been the 3 Wynn brothers cheering on their gold medal winning sister and Snoop Dogg. It's been great. If you haven't seen Stanley Tucci and Snoop walking down the thoroughfare in their matching Stanley and Snoop matching jackets. That's the kind of stuff we love from the Olympics. All right, folks, it's the Jake and Spike Show. When we come back, right after these commercial breaks, we're going to play a movie trailer for you that's scared. I'm sorry Jake had to go. We'll let you know what's going on. He's fine. A little family emergency. Everybody's going to be just super, but he's going to take care of his family. We saw a trailer of a movie that scared the pants off us, and we'll share it with you because we don't want to be scared alone. We'll be right back.
G and Ursula, 9 to noon on the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, KIRO News Radio.
A sea of green and blue in downtown Seattle. I'm hoping, G, you can hear us.
I can hear you.
We want to take it all in right along with you. You have a very special vantage point. G, what's going on?
They had another big dude trying to get on here with me and DJ Roscoe. You can't have 3 big dudes in the back of this Tundra.
Subscribe to the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel and watch live.
Nick, did you know this is called quit time? Did you know what that is?
I do not know.
That means right about this time of the year, people quit their New Year's resolutions.
Oh, kind of like last year.
Okay, never mind. The important thing is that both of us made a New Year's resolution that we would take better care of ourselves for each other. And we're holding to that.
We are not flaming out because...
Longevity Medical Clinic. So we get the support of Longevity. We told them what our goals were, and they're like, absolutely, we'll get you in line. So they support me, they support you, and then as a couple, they're making us accountable for the decisions we make. So we're not going to be quitting on these things. I can't remember what your New Year's resolution was around the house.
My New Year's resolution around the house was that I was going to try to get you to start putting things away.
And I was going to get you to actually learn how to cook a piece of chicken.
Oh, well, that's for next year.
Okay, fine. Either way, we've got a team behind us. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these 3 books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File today the easy way in the Credit Karma app.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Coolers leaking and rats are moving and movers creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the Jake and Spike Show. I'm Spike O'Neill. Laura Scott's producing the show today. So we've been talking to you about AI and its evolution and intrusion and maybe domination and overtaking and elimination, extermination of humanity.
Oh, you forgot its energy usage.
And scene. Yeah, energy usage. Oh, my gosh. So, Jake and I are both cinemaphiles. And we love watching movies, love watching movie trailers. It's funny. We've been kind of featuring, just for play off air, Jake and I together, movie trailers that are made by AI themselves. About films that have never been made. Jay showed me a movie trailer involving a rooftop fight scene between Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. And I'm thinking, when did they make a movie? Is Brad Pitt in the latest iteration of Mission Impossible? When did they make a movie together? Because Tom Cruise looks a little bit younger. Did I miss this? It was a completely AI-generated trailer that you just enter in your prompt into AI. Give me Brad Pitt and Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise fighting on top of a roof, and here it is, better than the multi-million-dollar cinema that's made these days. So we saw a trailer of a movie that's coming out, and this isn't AI. This is a real documentary. It's called AI Doc: How I Became an Apocalyptimist.
Say that 3 times
Think about that word, apocalyptimist. And this is literally a trailer about experts in the field warning us that maybe Terminator wasn't just sci-fi, but a precursor to what could actually happen. Let me play you this trailer and then we'll talk a little bit more.
If this technology goes wrong, it can go quite wrong.
Your fear of AI is the collapse of humanity.
Well, not the collapse, the abrupt extermination. There's a difference.
So I started making this movie because my wife is 6 months pregnant. Is now a terrible time to have a kid.
I mean, let's just be honest. I know people who work on AI risk who don't expect their children to make it to high school.
How does AI understand pretty much everything?
It's surprisingly straightforward.
Intelligence is about recognizing patterns.
Patterns.
If you have learned those patterns, you can generate new information. AI is moving so fast.
It's being deployed prematurely. There's so much potential for things to go wrong.
Why can't we just stop?
All these companies are in a race to get AI that's vastly more intelligent than people within this decade.
China, North Korea, Russia.
Whoever wins is essentially the controller of humankind.
We need to take a threat from AI as seriously as global nuclear war. It feels like I have to find these CEOs and get them in the movie.
Great.
I want to ask you to promise me that this is going to go well.
That is impossible.
Okay. Am I hopeful? Yes. Am I confident that it'll go right? Absolutely not.
AI is the thing that can solve climate change.
We could cure most diseases.
What if it's expanding what is humanly possible?
This is the most extraordinary time ever. The only time more exciting than today is tomorrow.
If we can be the most mature version of ourselves, there might be a way through this.
Oh.
This is the last mistake we'll ever get to make.
If we can just be mature. Oh, is that all it's going to take? Forget it. I don't know whether
we're doomed.
I don't know whether to start drinking or curl up in a ball and suck my thumb, because that's terrifying. That is terrifying. That is literally the plot of all the Terminator movies. That Skynet goes sentient and it figures out that we are the problem. Humans are the problem. There are stories of AI, right? Nowadays, AI, first off, AI is developing itself. Humans aren't developing AI anymore. AI has taken the wheel of its own development. It's reading where it's at and how it can develop faster and better and stronger. And what are the weak links in the AI development chain? Apparently humans are the weak links in the AI development chain. And so what do we do? How do we stop it? How do we make sure it's used properly? How do we regulate it? Well, when you see that the people who are investing most heavily, billions and billions of dollars, not just in the energy farms it takes to make AI, but what AI, how it handles everyday functions within humanity and in spite of humanity. The people who are developing this technology and this industry, this money-making industry, they're donating so heavily to political campaigns, there's going to be no oversight. They didn't invest $1 zillion in the campaigns of the president to be regulated, to have checks put on their money-making possibilities. They paid billions to knock down the guardrails.
It scares me so much that this is entirely a profit-driven venture right now.
Right.
With no incentive, really, for it to be a moral or ethical problem.
There are stories of AI tests itself, right? You see, how fast is it learning? How fast does it solve this problem? Is it getting out of control? There are stories of AI dumbing itself down when tested, to not show the testers just how fast and strong and smart it's getting.
That's terrifying.
Right? It's tanking the test to be held back a year so it can wipe us out sooner. Anywho, we're going to start drinking any second now. No, I'm just kidding. I am kidding. We'll be back right after these. This is Jake and Spike Show. Don't go anywhere. But please, don't leave us.
Can Seattle and the 12s throw a party or what?
They're thinking there could be up to 1 million 12s for this parade.
We're the best in the world! You hear me?
You know, me and so many others remember taking my kid to the parade 12 years ago. And now another generation gets to share that.
Home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Hey, we not done. We coming back next year.
KIRO News Radio.
Drivers who switch their home and auto with Progressive could save money and time. Other things try to do this, but they really don't. Like the touchscreen at fast food places. It's not like you save time because it takes you longer to use a touchscreen than, I don't know, someone who works there. And another thing, you'd think it would save money because they're not paying a cashier, right? But no, same price. Also, why is there an option to tip? Who am I tipping? Exactly. Anyway, even if you can't save money and time with some things, you could with a Progressive home and auto bundle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy plates, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team. Build it soon.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
At Skyline, senior living never sounded so good. The world feels bigger when you stay connected to ideas, to culture, to the things you love. We designed Skyline for today's older adults who celebrate life rooted in the city, not apart from it. At Seattle's only true life care community, premier music venues, museums, and culinary gems are just steps away. Urban senior living has an address. Discover it all at SkylineSeattle.org.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
We're the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by JTV.com.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is released from police custody nearly 12 hours after his arrest on suspicion of misconduct in public office in connection with Jeffrey Epstein. This Londoner's reaction?
However he gets what he deserves. If it's life in jail, then it's life in jail. If it's exile, then it's exile.
CBS's Vicky Barker.
Ailsa Anderson served as a press secretary to the late Queen Elizabeth.
I'm quite glad that I'm not working at Buckingham Palace today.
She's seen the photo of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor leaving a Norfolk police station.
He looked dazed, he looked shell-shocked, he was slouching down. And this image, I think, will just remind people of his extraordinary fall from grace.
With potentially farther to fall, the police have not given up their investigation into allegations of misconduct in public office. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
New Mexico's Attorney General reopens the investigation into allegations of illegal activity at Epstein's former Zorro Ranch 30 miles south of Santa Fe. The USA's Alyssa Liu wins the gold in her free skate program. And speaking of the Olympics, the U.S. wins a third Olympic gold in women's hockey, beating Canada 2-1. CBS's Kelly O'Grady in Milan.
Sudden death overtime. The U.S. women were able to pull it out. They cheered. They screamed. The crowd went wild, and Free Bird played. Free Bird, of course, being the song that plays whenever a U.S. hockey team at this Olympics scores a goal.
President Trump sends a second aircraft carrier group to the Middle East region in a show of force against Iran. He says the two countries are going to get a nuclear deal, quote, one way or the other.
We do have some work to do with Iran. They can't have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. You can't have peace in the Middle East if they have a nuclear weapon.
Democrats announced their pick to deliver their response to President Trump's State of the Union address next week.
Governor Spanberger is Virginia's first female governor. She was elected after serving 3 terms in the U.S. House of Representatives. The governor campaigned on issues including affordability, something the president has labeled as a Democrat hoax. The president is widely expected to focus on the economy during his State of the Union address and to spell out steps he says he has taken to lower costs. Spanberger is expected to discuss how prices remain too high for average Americans, with affordability remaining out of reach. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Advocates warn that the proposed Trump administration rule limiting public housing to mostly citizens could lead to evictions.
The National Housing Law Project says it defeated this unlawful proposal during President Trump's first term and says we're ready to fight back with our allies and do it again. HUD Secretary Scott Turner says the days of illegal aliens, ineligibles, and fraudsters gaming the system are over.
This is CBS News.
Looking for spring jewelry looks? Find them at Jewelry Television. New customers get $20 off purchases of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Rumors that the Seahawks turned down the White House invitation. We'll address that in a moment. But first, let's check out your KIRO News Radio traffic desk with Lori.
Well, southbound 99 had 2 lanes blocked all morning long, backing you up to Holden. But now northbound 99 at Des Moines Memorial Drive, we have a collision blocking all lanes. Again, northbound 99 at Des Moines Memorial Drive. We're down to about a 3-minute delay. Bellevue to Seattle on 520. Linwood to Seattle, 18 minutes. And Linwood to Bellevue, just a 16-minute drive. It's going to take you 10 minutes. Federal Way to Tacoma, just about a minute slowdown. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. A prominent owner of another Seattle sports franchise is squashing rumors a new owner of the Seahawks might move the team. Tim Lewicki, part owner of the Seattle Kraken, laughed at the rumor on 710 Seattle Sports.
There is no possibility. The family has left this team in brilliant shape, and they did it in partnership with the citizens.
The Seahawks have 6 years remaining on their lease with Washington State taxpayers who own Lumen Field. The team officially went on the market Wednesday, less than 2 weeks after winning Super Bowl 60. The Seattle Seahawks still have not received a White House invite after their Super Bowl win. The Seattle Times reports President Trump hasn't reached out to the team since their championship last week. The White House hasn't responded to multiple requests for comment. An NFL source tells the Times that as of yesterday, no invitation had been extended. That's despite online rumors claiming the team had turned down an invite. Trump canceled an invitation to the Philadelphia Eagles back in 2018 after some players said they wouldn't go. 5 people in Lacey have pleaded not guilty to charges of selling drugs to children in Thurston County. Police say the suspects were allegedly selling drugs to students at a nearby middle school and high school. KIRO 7 News' Lindsay Sheldon has more on this disturbing story.
During a months-long investigation, detectives documented more than 150 kids, some as young as 13 years old, going in and out of that home on an average school day.
All 5 of the defendants have posted bail. The man arrested in connection with a fiery crash in Federal Way that left 1 person dead over the weekend made his first court appearance Wednesday.
Police say the man was drunk on Sunday morning when he caused the crash at South 356th Street and Enchanted Parkway that involved 4 vehicles, which all burst into flames. 1 driver was trapped and died. Another was left in critical condition with a possible pelvic fracture and a traumatic brain injury, according to police documents. Casey McNerthney in the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office says other people were hurt too.
It was a really tragic scene.
Prosecutors expect to make a charging decision by Friday afternoon. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
A judge set his bail at $150,000. Now your weather update, partly sunny and 41 this afternoon, 44 partly sunny Friday. We'll start to warm up into the 50s this weekend. Overnight lows, though, into the upper 20s for the next couple nights. 39 and sunshine in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome to the 2 o'clock hour of the Jake and Spike Show. 2 hours down, 1 wonderful hour to go. Jake Skorheim had to take a quick break for a little family emergency. We're going to make sure everything's okay with that. So Laura and I are going to finish out the day for you here. We want to apologize. We're going to reschedule Chris Davis of the Davis Law Group. He was scheduled to come in and came down to the station, was waiting in the lobby for us to go on, talking about the city of Seattle and the numerous lawsuits against the city, legal case against the city, and the city's proclivity to settle. Multi-million-dollar settlements.
Tens of millions of dollars, really. About $30 million in 2 very prominent recent cases. So
exactly.
John V. Kandula, when she was struck as a pedestrian by
at the crosswalk,
at a crosswalk by a police officer.
The chop.
And then the chop, the teen who was
slain at the chop. Right,
yes,
right.
Yeah.
So Chris Davis is going to reschedule for hopefully early next week if we can get back in here. We appreciate his time. But we want to make sure we bring that story to you. And I know Jake's really passionate about this story, wants to know how we can save us, the city, and the state of Washington, and us taxpayers, a little bit of money. Why the city seems to always settle? Is it always in the city's best interest? Chris can give us insight. We're going to have him back on to talk about that. Nate Connors in the last newscast was talking to you a little bit about the Seahawk invitation to the White House as a Super Bowl winner. And all pro teams, not just Super Bowls, NBA, WNBA, NHL, baseball, world champions, World Series champs, they all get invited to the White House. A story broke earlier this week that the Seahawks had declined an invitation to go to the White House to celebrate from President Trump. Then it was after numerous contacts from numerous media outlets to the White House, no official invitation has ever been put forth. Well, it is almost 2 weeks since the Super Bowl. Now, right? I mean, it's been a fuzzy memory.
I don't know how fast the mail travels these days.
Right?
But...
Is it Pony Express? I know there's been a lot of weather interruptions with deliveries and whatnot, but we will bring you information as we get it. The speculation online is always what it is, just that, speculation and mostly BS. But there has been no invitation from the White House, and you got to wonder why after 2 weeks. Does the president still think that after a challenge in court and a recount that the Patriots will come up with more points and win the game? Is that what? I know the Patriots are a favorite of President Trump. Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, is a friend, a personal friend of President Trump. And maybe the president wasn't rooting for the Seahawks in this game. I don't know. I think only the the Philadelphia Eagles are the only NFL team that has officially declined a White House visit after winning a Super Bowl. And I know there have been various instances over the years where players decided they do not want to.
Right, and kind of an
individualized, but no team has. I think maybe somebody can double check me on that. Let us know on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476, whether or not any other team besides the Eagles have in fact said no thanks to the president. And I don't think any team should say no thanks, whether you agree or disagree with the policies of any one particular administration. It's America's game. It's America's president. Let's take the Lombardi to Pennsylvania Avenue. Let's hoist that thing up. Let's get it done.
I don't know if I agree. I
Really?
think it's an opportunity to make a really strong, unified political statement.
As an organization.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great point. And I know players have the individual right to go or not go. The organization also, you're right, has a right to say, do we take this moment to make a political statement, to make a statement about our values, our community's values? I know we're a sanctuary city and a sanctuary state with an attorney general and a governor who was an attorney general and has waged numerous legal battles with the Trump administration over various policies. Maybe it would be. Yeah, you're right. It's a question worth asking, but you got to be asked to dance before you say no thanks. So
I don't know. Do you
officially,
think the president's afraid to ask and be publicly rejected?
No, because I think and I could just speculate because I'm not.
That's all we do. Yeah,
I'm not part of the MAGA base, but I think they would love to be turned down by the Seahawks, so they can, much like we're talking a little bit of news story today about how Patty Murray has said she's not going to attend the State of the Union address I believe it's next Tuesday at the Capitol. Senator Murray says, as she, along with many other Democrats, say they will, in protest, not be at the State of the Union. I think the White House and the sports teams are saying no thank you is the same way. But to your point, the president would love to be rejected. You saw the White House's response to Democrats saying they won't be at the State of the Union. I don't know why they wouldn't want to come and celebrate the victories of this administration. They'll take a rejection by the Seahawks and spin it to placate their base and promote their point of view, not just placate their base. That was very pejorative of me. I apologize. But, they would probably love to be rejected by the Seahawks, and I wouldn't want to give them satisfaction. I'd say, let's go. And maybe when you're there, say something. Say something with the world's media attention at you. It's a better look to go and protest live and say what you feel into a microphone on the White House lawn, the president holds a jersey that has 47 on the back. I know it. They always do that. They always make a jersey with the president. And I get it. That's,
You got a jersey when you threw the first pitch for the Mariners, right?
I got a Mariners jersey. I got one. Yeah, it is. I didn't make a political speech either. We talked about all day long. Luke Ducey had some great coverage on the potential, or the pending, I should say, the proposed sale of the Seahawks. So let's take a moment to recap that real quick before we get into our next scheduled story. Yesterday it was announced, I believe, that the Seahawks were officially in the process of a sale of the organization as per requirement by the Paul Allen Trust. When Mr. Allen passed in 2018, it was in his final, I don't know if it's will, but it was made clear that his wishes were that his assets would be liquidated to benefit the philanthropic efforts of the Paul Allen Trust. Thus, the Portland Trailblazers, or the Allen ownership in the Portland Trailblazers, and Seattle Seahawks would be sold to benefit this trust. It was leaked over Super Bowl week. Again, getting back to Robert Kraft, owner of the New England Patriots. It was leaked during Super Bowl week that the Hawks would be for sale during Super Bowl week. And we feel like, a lot of people feel like, and we're just speculating, but that's, again, like I said, that's what we do, that Robert Kraft was the one who leaked this information that the Hawks were for sale during Super Bowl week. So players could be maybe potentially distracted. Because Patriots, let's face it, didn't have many advantages to play in the Super Bowl. And distracting the Seahawks was probably the best play they had in their playbook. What we know now is that the team has indeed entered into the process of formal sale of the team. There's still no indication yet that they have a potential buyer or what the status is of the sale of that. It's now in the process. We do know, thanks to Luke's reporting, that there is a responsibility from the Allen Trust to accept the highest bidder in the sale for the Seahawks, which means that, the Seahawks can't just take the most attractive owner to the Allen family, someone who has maybe local ties, can make a commitment to not moving the team. Should it be sold to somebody who wants to move it, they could take the second highest bidder if the first highest bidder had intentions to move. But the fiduciary responsibilities of the Allen Trust say they've got to take the highest bidder. Now, we mentioned this earlier as well, but it bears repeating that the NFL owners have final say on approval of the sale of the Seahawks to any potential buyer. And you need a 3/4 majority of NFL owners, which would be 32 owners, even if Allen has to abstain. You would take 24 of 31 votes to get the approval of the owners. And as Luke had mentioned, and so many other people that know Mike Salk on the morning show with Brock and Salk, talked to Ty Lewicki, partial owner, co-owner of the Seattle Kraken, and he literally laughed out loud at the idea of the Seahawks leaving the Northwest. The value of this franchise to this community, to this region, to this TV market is far too attractive. NFL owners, most people with any insight into the league itself, will tell you that the owners will never approve a sale that allows for the moving of the team from Seattle. And so that being said, if the highest bidder for the team is somebody who's undesirable for any reason, not just moving the team, but maybe they don't like the character of someone, the NFL owners can say no to a potential purchase of the Seahawks from the highest bidder. When Donald Trump tried to buy his way into the NFL back in the early 80s, he tried to buy the Buffalo Bills. The NFL owners rejected that purchase of Buffalo by Donald Trump because of his various business practices and different legal pending cases with him back in the late 70s and early 80s. So the NFL owner said, no, thanks, we don't want Donald Trump as an owner in this very exclusive, limited club.
And you can't say that was politics.
Well, not well.
At the time.
It wasn't politics. No, it was about the character of an owner. Let's say Elon Musk is the highest bidder. And the Allen Foundation of the Allen Trust, out of fiduciary responsibility, has to take Elon Musk's bid. The NFL owners can at that point say, we don't like how you do business. We don't like how you treat your people. We don't like your point of view. We don't like your character. We reject you as an owner. So the NFL owners will have a hand in saying who gets to own the Seahawks moving forward and whether or not they will stay in Seattle. I mean, so many factors. It's been covered in depth, but we'll continue to bring any developments that we have. But it is the story of the day in the Northwest.
I mean, I think the big fear is just that they would leave. Right? Like that's the thing that's looming in the back of all of our minds.
Well, yeah, it is. But for me, and if I can pontificate for just a second longer, I was in town when Ken Behring bought the Seahawks and when Ken Behring mismanaged as a horrible owner, meddling owner, who tried to work outside of his area of expertise, and then threatened to move the Seahawks. Wanted a new stadium deal at the time, didn't like the Kingdome. The city said no thanks. He was threatening to move the team to California. Paul Allen came in and saved the team, saved football in the Northwest. My fear is that an owner who doesn't just want to move the team, but an owner who just doesn't know what he's doing is my greatest fear. I was
her.
I was in Baltimore when the Colts, who was a very straight, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again, a historically successful franchise. The Baltimore Colts had won NFL championships, Super Bowls, was bought by Robert Irsay, who at the time was an HVAC mega millionaire, who had bought the Los Angeles Rams and then swapped the Rams and Colts unit up. And the guy rode the team into the ground, just mismanaged the team. Actually, drunken one day, tried to call down and call plays from the owner's box because he didn't like the way the coach was calling the game mid-game. He moved that team to Indianapolis. I fear a bad owner, probably almost as much as I fear have the team move out of town.
Yeah, I was going to say which would be worse, because I think losing the team would be
Yeah, if I could pick
Right?
a lousy
Yeah.
owner that stays or a great owner that takes them to Oklahoma, for example, given Jake's earlier
I'd rather
example.
have a bad owner here.
Yeah, I would too. But I'd rather that the league's ownership group, who has final say as who gets to buy the Seahawks, will take both of those factors into consideration.
Yes.
A quality owner who's shown a good acumen for running a pro sports team, and the fact that he doesn't want to leave the Northwest. Boom.
I mean, we're a great fan base.
We're
can see
one of
that.
the greatest
you
in the
look
nation.
At the Seahawks run this year and how loud we were, how loud our stadium was. You think about the success of the Kraken. You think about the Mariners run last year.
The NBA's talking about coming back to town. This is a major league city with a phenomenally dedicated fan base. Yeah, I think
they'd be stupid to leave us.
We're in good shape. Yeah. All right, well, let's turn attention to something a little more serious. We're going to talk now about the trial going on in Los Angeles, California, regarding the owners and operators of major social media platforms, and a trial that is taking place that wants to hold the owners of these social media platforms accountable for the content that is broadcast on their various channels, whether it be Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, TikTok, all of them. They're all involved in this lawsuit. And now, from what I've understood, there are 4 weeks of scheduled witness testimony in this case. And what we're trying to establish is the fact all businesses have accountability for how their products interact with the public from a safety perspective. You can't make a waffle iron that bursts into flames or melts people's hands off without being held accountable.
Well, you can only make a few.
You can, yes, and then you're out of business. Social media enjoys an exemption from accountability for how its product is used and the impact its product has on the American people. This case in court is trying to strip that accountability from these social media platform operators. And they become such players. We talked a little bit ago about the downfall of AI, that movie trailer we played for you, Apocalyptimist, AI.com or the AI doc. These owners of these social media platforms, what's at stake in this hearing, what's being contested in this hearing, this trial, I should say, in Los Angeles, is whether or not social media platforms are operated in with an addictive goal. And should these operators, these owners of these platforms, be held accountable if they are quite literally, much like akin to the cigarette industry, selling a product to the American people that they know to be addictive and know to be health-wise detrimental to America's youth especially? Should they be held accountable? Should they be allowed to be keeping their freedom from accountability? That exemption of accountability. There was a trial, or the hearing yesterday with Mark Zuckerberg. He was asked directly, "Do you think your products are addictive? Are addictive things bad for people?" And he played against, "I really don't know." Their claims are that their products are designed to be engaging but not addictive. And we have a piece of audio from Jonathan Haidt, who was on with Bill Maher last week. We played this for earlier in the week, but it bears repeating about research they've done with what the intended goals were and the practices of these social media companies in developing these platforms.
These things were designed by people who studied slot machines. Slot machines are addictive. These people, a lot of them took a course at Stanford on persuasive design. They learned how to use intermittent rewards, variable ratio reward schedules to hook people. And they did it. They talked about it. We have transcripts. We have internal reports. They did 31 studies, my team has found. If you go to metasinternalresearch.org, we've categorized their own studies showing that this is addictive. They talk about it. They use the word addiction. And so now for these guys to say, oh, it's not addictive, well, just like the tobacco industry. And would they let their kids? I don't think the tobacco guys let their kids smoke. A lot of these guys don't let their kids use their products. But there's a big difference, I think. And I think comparing it to the tobacco industry is actually unfair to the tobacco industry, because the tobacco executives never saw children suffer. They knew that they were going to give them cancer eventually, but they didn't have to look at children suffering and dying.
And that is not the case. The evidence is overwhelming that social media, with its addictive properties, the fact that it's designed to engage people, and the intermittent rewarding processes that social media use to keep you engaged and keep you on your phone, is detrimental to mental health of youth. The evidence is overwhelming. I'd be interested to see how this court case plays out in Los Angeles, because there are over 1,600 pending cases before the courts right now, brought about by families who have lost children, who have had children with detrimental effects of social media use, from school districts who have seen these cases of involving kids have detrimental effects. If this case in Los Angeles finds these social media companies accountable, liable, guilty for their practices and to ensnare children in their products, then these cases, 1,600 cases, this could really change how social media companies are allowed to operate and what guidelines we as a society, as a country, and our government puts on these social media companies. We talked to you earlier in the week about how the Australian government has passed a ban on social media for anybody under 16, how that ban is being considered in countries like England, France, Germany, Spain, Denmark, across the globe. They see the necessity to stop this technology from getting into our kids' hands and their minds and their lives at such an early age.
Brains.
And the
Exactly.
developing brains, yeah. I mean, these kids on average, they spend between 5 and 7, 8 hours a day on their phones. Young teenage girls spending, untold 30, 40 hours a week on their phones in a system that allows, predators into their world, content that's not suitable for children into their hands. Not to mention bullying. The cyberbullying epidemic is so much, almost, I think, more dangerous than in-person bullying because it's insidious and it comes from all directions and it never stops.
Yeah, you can't go home. Right? Or
Right.
you can't go to school.
Well, it used to be, when I was growing up, and I'm not trying to make light of it, but you got bullied on the playground. Nowadays, you get bullied around the clock. Yeah, and the kids can't go a minute without looking at their phones, engaging with social media. The bullying never stops. I would be blindsided if this case in Los Angeles, which seems like an open and shut case, doesn't hold these companies accountable. And if they are found guilty, then what? It kicks up to the appellate court, the Supreme Court eventually. Well, the Supreme Court and their tendencies to favor business, it seems pretty evident. Is that what's going to be? These 5, 6 judges are going to get to decide whether or not our kids, our future is safe from intrusive, addictive social media? Oh, I'm going to watch that movie again just to feel better about myself. When we come back, we're going to have our own Chris Sullivan. And we, to be full disclosure, we recorded this a little bit earlier. Jake Skorheim and I spoke to Sully about the return of the mosquito fleet. Is it time to bring out all hands on deck, if you will, to get us around in the Northwest? We'll have that right after these. Don't go anywhere.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
This is what it's all about, right?
The Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
The pure joy.
To beat the Patriots, especially in the 49ers stadium, it means everything.
It's a great time to be alive for Seattle fans.
It's why we're 12s.
Just like Mike McDonald said, we did not care.
We got a parade to get to.
Seattle will hold a victory parade Wednesday.
We are the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
KIRO Newsradio.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
See country star Aaron Lewis and the State Liners at Muckleshoot Casino Resort, March 24th at 8 p.m. And now an added show on March 25th. He's a multi-platinum artist whose raw lyrics and powerhouse vocals have captivated fans for decades. Now he and his band, the State Liners, are coming to Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Get your tickets now to see Aaron Lewis at muckleshootcasino.com.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
Worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
That's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Wrenchy's what?
Worry-free warranty.
Which means?
When it wears out, we replace it.
No extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life?
For as long as you're an A-List member. You get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchy's
worry-free warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchy.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
It's a great time to visit Subaru of Puyallup during the Subaru A Lot to Love event for extra savings through March 31st. Visit your stress-free dealership, SubaruofPuyallup.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. Scammers are yet again at it again, sending text messages claiming to be from the Washington Department of Licensing. The texts demand you to pay up or face major consequences. DOL spokesperson Thomas Charlson tells KIRO 7 TV these texts are fake.
We don't send out text messages like this demanding urgent payment.
Instead, they'll email you or send you a letter in the mail if they need to contact you, rather. So if you get a text like this, don't send any money. There is no way for you to get it back. The Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs is sounding the alarm about police staffing or lack thereof all across the state. Steve Strand is executive director.
We were hoping to see some improvement in our per capita staffing, which of course has been last in the nation now for 15 straight years. But unfortunately, the numbers we've got now for 2025 are actually showing another decline. We're going in the wrong direction.
Strand says the problem is there are more officers leaving through retirement than new hires, and the state's population has grown, which affects the per capita rate. With frigid temperatures this week, the Seattle Center is offering shelter to those in need. The Fisher Pavilion will be open between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. through Friday. The Salvation Army will provide dinner and a continental breakfast. Space is limited. Pets are welcome. Redmond police say they are grateful no one was hurt when a teen driver crashed into an apartment building Tuesday. Witnesses reported the car speeding and driving recklessly before the driver tried to drift around a corner. Police say the boy spotted a pedestrian in the crosswalk and lost control. The car plunged down a 50-foot embankment before hitting the building. All three people inside the car were okay. The teen behind the wheel was later arrested for reckless driving. The Washington Department of Transportation shut down 2 right lanes on northbound 99 over the First Avenue South Bridge overnight. Bridge inspectors did not like what they saw during a routine inspection and shut down the lanes as a precaution. That's been causing big backups. KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha spoke with drivers who got caught up in the mix.
It'll be tough coming through traffic for a couple of days.
Yeah, for how long, I don't know.
Where were you coming from?
Burien.
Okay. How long did it take you to come across?
25 minutes.
Were you expecting that?
No.
WashDOT has been assessing the damage. No word yet when those lanes will reopen. And with that, let's check out the KIRO News Radio traffic right now as we head over and say hello to Lori.
And not only that, Nate, 99 northbound in Des Moines, the Des Moines Memorial Drive, we have a lane blocked. So a lot of stuff going on there, slowing folks down. We're down to a 3-minute delay, Bellevue to Seattle on 520, Everett to Seattle, southbound, a 31-minute drive. A 2-minute slowdown, Everett to Bellevue, also 2-minute delay with 26 minutes. Southbound 5 at 72nd in Tacoma, we have an incident. That one's in the left lane, taking you 35 minutes from Seattle to Tacoma. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thank you, Lori. And now your weather. Cool temps continue this afternoon. Partly sunny throughout the afternoon. Our high will top out right around 41, then back into the upper 20s overnight. We're sunny and 40 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. Very excited to have this guy on. Chris Sullivan joins us now on the show. Chris, welcome.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
It's great to have you here. Did you arrive by tiny ferry boat?
Yes, I did. I arrived by a small wooden paddle wheeler. It was awesome.
You have an article right now. People should check this out on mynorthwest.com. I was delighted when I saw the story because this is one of the cooler parts of Washington history, like transportation history, that not many people know about. And they're now talking about, all things old, new again, bringing it back. Tell us about this mosquito fleet.
Yeah, mosquito fleet, if you don't know what it is, has nothing to do with bugs or malaria or things like that.
Thankfully.
It's not the rotting wood of these ferries attracting insect infestation?
Not at the bottom of Lake Union or Puget Sound. No, it's an interesting idea. Before cars and really before rail went out anywhere outside of like the main area, our whole region was built up by what they called a mosquito fleet. Basically, anybody that had a dock could take their stuff to any place else with another dock. So between 1850 and about 1930, we had thousands of boats of all sizes, passenger boats to things carrying the mail, livestock, foodstuffs, whatever, lumber, everywhere around, and it really built up the region. That's why there are towns all around Puget Sound. That's why there are towns all around Lake Washington. Wherever you had a dock, you would just go, and they created these destinations, and kind of that's how our region was built until the cars came, and it was really cool that it just kind of died out. And now the idea is, well, you know what, with gas prices the way they are, with our congestion the way they are, with our ferries being somewhat unreliable these days, is it time to maybe use the past as a way to advance things right now by allowing more opportunities for passenger-only ferries to basically go anywhere in the state? Anywhere there's water between two docks, you can go and try to make things a little bit more reliable, give people more opportunities.
The cool thing about this, too, is because of the size of these boats. When you say mosquito fleet, can you tell the audience about because when you think ferry boat, you think massive 200-car, but that's not what these are at all.
Now, back in the day, these ones were, anything from a 40-footer to a 200-footer. Think paddle wheel,
old steamship,
an old
steamboat,
steamer
right?
You think back in the day that you saw in a movie.
On the mighty Mississippi or
something like
There's
that.
There's a card game upstairs.
Correct. And now think of something like a Kitsap ferry or a passenger-only West Seattle ferry, or maybe even smaller, or maybe even a little bigger, depending on the route. And the idea is, and it's being pushed by Representative Greg Nance of Kitsap, because he's reliant on the state ferries. And that's his angle. And so the idea is right now, if you don't, the state doesn't allow anybody to basically go out and create their own ferry service. There have been a couple of private ventures over the last decade or so who have thought of this idea, including one that was going to start in Renton, go up Lake Washington and drop off at Lake Union, right there at the technology hub. But that never really went anywhere. The Coast Guard regulations are ridiculous to try to carry people for fares, passengers.
Well, for
rightly
sake, they
so.
should be, yeah.
Rightly so. I mean, but it's cost prohibitive.
To an extent, they should allow it.
Cost prohibitive. So this bill, if it were to pass, would allow any port, any county, any local jurisdiction, a tribe, or private folks to create what is a ferry district, which is not unlike the Sound Transit taxing district, right? Say City of Everett wanted to create a ferry that goes to Whidbey, and then maybe a little bit further, and maybe down to Edmonds, who knows, around the Sound that way. They would start their own ferry district that would allow the state, this law, if it were to pass, this bill would allow them to, tax the local area to create this system to help it run. They could create tolls, they could do this. So, I mean, they're envisioning up and down Lake Washington.
Yeah, that's
up
a cool
and down,
part.
Through the ocean between, Westport and Ocean Shores. They're talking up the Columbia River to the wineries.
Imagine
everything.
Imagine how fun this would be, Spike, if you wanted to, let's say you were going to McMinimans or something, and you said, I don't want to drive over there. I want to get to downtown at some point. So you could be at McMinimans. You walk down the waterway. You're near a dock that now has a boat that you can rely on that will take you all the way back to wherever. I mean, they would be everywhere, which I think would be fantastic.
Yeah, there's obviously some regulation needs to go in. I mean, that's a very important waterway out there. We don't want people who don't know what they're doing
Same reason
stuff.
we can't fly drones in the airspace.
Yeah, we're sharing with
everywhere.
massive container ships and things. But
I would say
there's plenty of room.
I think it's a little different than the air, like drones, because those would have to travel over roadways.
And there isn't an altitude difference.
Right,
you should be able to see what's in front of you.
Relatively safe. Yeah, I mean, you are limited in the damage you can do in a small boat versus something that you're flying, which I totally agree with you. That's a...
The FAA needs to figure that out. But that's a different story. But no, I think this is a really interesting idea to kind of use I mean, we have all this water. Why don't we use it?
Would it be
a little bit?
We're talking about old boats being refurbished. Really.
No, this is kind of like whatever boat they find and they deem acceptable.
And they would all have to get checked out, just like your car has to be road safe.
And again, these would be passenger only. We're not talking.
Putting cars on
these
right,
things.
right.
The state ferries can take care of that. But if you need a commuter route between, I don't know, somewhere, and I just imagine Chambers Bay. Put the dock at Chambers Bay, and then you could take a boat from Tacoma down to Chambers Bay.
It's kind of wet Uber.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
Right?
It's kind of like that. So it's a really creative idea. What's old is new, and we'll see. Last year it passed the House. This year it passed the House 84-11, but it got stuck in the Senate last year. It doesn't have a hearing in the Senate yet this year. Short session, who knows? Maybe they'll take this up this session, or maybe it'll come back next year. I think it's an interesting idea. The water's an underserved resource that we have here.
I was thinking too, I live in Snohomish area. I'm downtown Snohomish all the time. That's a big river. You can get boats up that river. I wonder if that could be one of the ports where you could say, hey, you know what? We're going to bring people up. You want to get on the dock in Snohomish and you want to make your way over to, take a boat from Snohomish to Everett?
That'd be cool.
I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, something like, again, it has to pencil out, has to meet all the criteria. And of course, I'm sure before you could open up a district like that, you'd have to ask your voters if you want to tax yourself to create this, whether you think it's viable or not.
Sure.
But I think it's an idea worth exploring to give us a little bit, because we're not going to get any new boats in the ferry system, state ferry system, until 2030 at the earliest. And then this would allow them maybe to get some more smaller boats, maybe some different service out there, because the Kitsap Ferry's done really well as providing opportunities. It's done really well. The West Seattle Water Taxi does really well. So, why not give it a try and make sure it's safe? But I think it provides a great opportunity.
I'm also wondering, is there one political party that's dragging their feet on this, or is it does it have bipartisan
past 84-11? It passed 84-11 in the House, certainly.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And again, because it's not necessarily just a Puget Sound thing.
Yeah.
We're talking Columbia River. We're talking, the coast, any lake you want to run things like that. Heck, some days I wouldn't mind there being a boat to just go across Lake Union. It's faster than going through Mercer.
I know.
Some days, and the construction and everything.
One of the funnest things, in the summertime, there's this little boat. I'm sure you've been to it, but that little boat that'll take you out from the Everett waterfront
to Jetty Island.
Yeah. Every time that we go on one of those, my wife and I, because I know all about. The mosquito fleet is a very cool part of our history. every time we get on there with the kids, we're like, why don't we have more of these fun little boats to go places? They're very rare these days, and it's a total throwback to the past, but it doesn't mean that it's technology that shouldn't be looked at.
No, because right now the state law doesn't allow it. Really, it's very limited who can do this kind of thing, and this bill would change that.
Well, I
and
love
provide more opportunities. But yeah, I mean, just think about it. You go catch a boat. Remember did you ever watch the old movie of, I can't remember. Oh, well, it's a gambling movie back in the day. But they
with Mel Gibson?
Yeah, and
yes.
Maverick. Yeah, thank you, Maverick. That paddle wheeler goes used to go up and down the Columbia just as a sightseer, the one they used in the movie for the tall shots on that. Yeah, it used to be parked right there on the Columbia River on the Portland side. Yeah, and so they used to go up and down, or say you want to go kite surfing for the day up in the Hood River, but you don't want to take your car. Now it'd be kind of hard to carry all your gear, but maybe you leave it at Hood River and you go back and forth on a ferry service, something like that.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea. I love it.
So check it out at mynorthwest.com. Again, we're waiting on a bill. It's House Bill 1923.
All right.
Kind of like the last time the mosquito fleet existed.
Yeah, there you go.
1923.
All right, Chris Sullivan, thanks for coming in, man.
Anytime.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
Seattle and the 12s throw a party or what?
They're thinking there could be up to 1 million 12s for this parade.
We're the best in the world! You hear me?
You know, me and so many others remember taking my kid to the parade 12 years ago. And now another generation gets to share that.
Home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Hey, we not done. We coming back next year.
KIRO News Radio.
I'm here with Wes Jones of sellwithwes.com. And Wes, you were just telling me you think 2026 is going to be a rebound year for the housing market.
That's right. I think we're heading into the best real estate market of the past 4 years. And here's why. If you take a step back and look at the big picture, experts are anticipating a 15% increase in sales volume next year. Interest rates are at near 3-year lows and trending down, and home prices have held near all-time highs. There is a lot of pent-up demand. People have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for their time to jump into the market since 2022, and they need a place to buy.
So, hey, 2026 might be your year. If you're considering selling your home, if you're thinking about moving, but there was something that was just holding you back, now might be a great time. So do this. Go to sellwithwes.com. You can see your home's real value there with Wes's home value calculator. Then schedule an appointment by giving him a call. Sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com. It really just is a better way to sell your home.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Some kids never smile. They're embarrassed by their crooked teeth. They want braces like the other kids, but their families can't afford them. Some may even try to straighten their teeth themselves. That can make everything worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. It helps provide orthodontic treatment to kids and teens whose families can't afford it. For kids who apply, are approved, and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, it can be life-changing. Their treatment is in the hands of an expert, a licensed local orthodontic specialist who improves their smiles by correctly aligning teeth and jaws. Some kids think they'll never smile again, but Donated Orthodontic Services may help them smile with confidence. To link to the application and eligibility requirements, visit aaoinfo.org.
Active Liver from New Nordic protects your liver so you can enjoy life to the fullest. Online at Amazon or in stores at CVS, Wegmans, and now GNC.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical, there's no beating CM Heating.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Spike O'Neill and with Laura Scott. Jake Skorheim had to run out and take a little care of a little family business. We'll let you know how things go. It's going to be fine. Here's we good. We didn't get to earlier in the week, Laura, but we should mention that the Reptile Zoo officially closed its doors on
the
Monday.
one in Monroe.
Yeah.
Yep.
We had, of course, the one of the owner's son, I believe, from the Reptile Zoo.
Isaac Peterson.
Isaac Peterson came in with us months ago and actually wrapped a snake around both Jake and I.
And I was conveniently not there that day.
Smart move.
Scheduled it and dipped.
Yeah, they really never really kind of recovered from pandemic difficulties that caused that business to just lose traffic and clientele, and it just became unfeasible, untenable as a business. So the Reptile Zoo, an institution on Highway 2 in Monroe, as Laura mentioned, after 30 years of operating, this family-owned roadside attraction, which are going away in America. They closed their doors on Monday. On Tuesday, many of the animals there found their way to new homes, according to a story from Como News. So we thank you for your time, Mr. Reptile Man.
Mr. Reptile Man.
Yeah.
Mr. Peterson.
Mr. Peterson. We did mention when we had Isaac in that they still are going to provide their school program where the Reptile Zoo goes and visits school children around the area, bringing live reptiles in to meet with students and to explain the animal world to these kids.
Which is great, because who doesn't remember getting to meet a snake in elementary school?
Right? A bearded dragon, a lizard, whatever it might be. Yeah. So, our best of luck in everything they do in the future. Lots of text today, Laura. Let's get them started, shall we?
Yeah. On taxing athletes under the millionaires tax.
Millionaires tax, and there's some concern about whether or not that'll impact the potential sale of the Seahawks and will it impact the ability of our pro sports teams to bring in the best talent here in the Northwest?
360 says the last 15 Super Bowls have been won by blue metro areas, and only 3 teams from red cities have won this century: Pittsburgh, Green Bay, Indianapolis.
Wow.
This year's final 4 teams come from cities with some of the most aggressive taxes in America: Seattle, Boston, LA, Denver. Finally, players are taught how to avoid taxes. That's why many of them have their own foundations, camps, and charities. Would they prefer to pay more in taxes? Of course not. But taxes have never stopped football from happening. The rich lifestyle of high-tax blue states is often what brings talent to begin with. The correlation between winning and blue cities is hard to ignore.
Dang.
That was a doozy.
That's
yeah?
a well-thought-out
Well
argument.
said.
Yeah, big time.
360. Send us your name.
Yes, you're now an associate producer of the show, and we're going to go to you as my tag every time Jake starts beating me up over taxes. I'm going to have you tap in and take the rest of the round for me. Jason and Buckley says, if I'm an NFL owner, I'm looking for the number of seats 12s buy when the Hawks are on the road. A lot of that probably goes away if the team moves. Interesting.
Black Sunshine in Kitsap County says 12% of the team should be sold as stocks to the 12s.
That's a pretty interesting concept.
Idea,
that is
right?
a fun idea. Give everybody an ownership. The way that team embraced, from players to owners to management, everybody, the value of this fan base.
Yeah.
Speaks to the it's hardly even fathomable that this team will be sold and relocated. But having the 12s be able to become a partial owner through stock would be fantastic and fitting. 425 says, why are we considering taxing people who have made America the American dream for their hard work? It makes no sense to me. It's like a participation drive for people who just want their money for doing no work at all. Okay.
Don and Lacey says no one's gotten into the NFL Hall of Fame based on how much money they made.
I love these. I love you guys. You guys are, on the kid who lost his signed football while tossing it to Sam Darnold, but got an amazing replacement from the team. 206 says, are you saying that at the parade, Sam threw an interception? No, it would equate more to, it's a great analogy though, it was a bad snap.
Okay.
It never got to Sam. Bad snap.
Jamestown and Eastlake says, may we hear a decade from now that kid is starting for your Seattle Seahawks. How cool would that be?
That'd be a nice, and that story would be part of a Super Bowl week, right? So
yeah.
There you go. Will the Hawks visit the White House after their Super Bowl win? Todd and Burian says, I doubt the White House will invite the Seahawks because we are a Democratic blue state, and I hope the Seahawks refuse to go if they do invite it.
Steve on Mercer Island says, isn't this what we don't want? Politics and sports?
Yeah.
It's a great unifier.
Yeah, it is. And sports is. And entertainment, sports, so it seems like politics nowadays is everywhere. And finally, Braden in Sonoma says, it doesn't surprise me that if you say it's a good chance to make a statement, but it is definitely very disappointing. It'd be just flat out disrespectful to make that statement. Well, there's nothing more American than protest. And with Jake and I here to argue me, I'll leave it at that. We thank you guys for your time today. We hope that Jake's everything goes well at home, and we look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow. We will see you tomorrow. The John Curley Show is on next. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you.
12s, you sure know how to turn up.
Parade day is finally here.
Yeah, 12s!
We talk about 12 as one. Look at all the 12s in this stadium right here. See how powerful this is?
We have one goal, and that was to bring this home to the best fans in the world. This is for y'all. Love.
The celebration continues.
I love this city.
On the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, KIRO News Radio.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here with my buddy, Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. The stem cell therapy you did on my knee was a game changer. But Dr. Dan, people ask me all the time if you're seeing the same kind of success treating neck and back pain with stem cell therapy.
Great question, Brock. As you know from your experience, we've had tremendous success treating major joints like hips, knees, and shoulders, but we've also seen excellent results treating neck and lower back pain. In fact, we're the only clinic in the Seattle area offering image-guided stem cell and PRP injection therapy specifically for neck and low back pain.
How cool is that? If joint, neck, or back pain is holding you back, call Dr. Daniel Nelson at Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine and find out if stem cell therapy may be right for you. Dr. Dan here is the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. Call Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's 425-823-4000 or danielnelsonmd.com.
Your best source for local news, KIRO News Radio.